I just have to literally go into the settings and do it. I know what this. Just like elbow deep. Okay. I fixed it. Sorry, my audio does a weird thing if my computer goes to sleep. It's stupid, and sometimes I have to fix it.
Hello, everyone. Let me know if I am now audible.
I think we had to start intros over again.
Oh, no.
That's fine. That's fine. You leave me high.
No.
You leave me spy.
I've muted you.
Out of the call.
Hi, I'm Spike.
I'm Kel.
I'm Amanda.
And we have a guest this week. Meredith, introduce yourself.
Sorry, I'm Meredith McLaren.
Sorry, this is our
I don't know when to come in.
Messed up.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. But yeah, Meredith McLaren is a longtime friend of Iron Circus. They are signed for not only a all age. Well, I don't know if all ages is appropriate. I guess YA would be a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's YA. It's we're gonna get kind of violent with like people getting et.
Please let me draw all the guts.
Exactly, just spilling out.
I mean, it opens with piggies getting et. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's that. And also Meredith has contributed to our current crowdfund on BackerKit, which is cool and great. And that is done under a very sensible pseudonym. I don't know if you want to say which story.
It a crowdfund, not a comic.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, if they're listening to this, they're gonna find my smutty stuff anyway.
Exactly.
It's Innkeeper Worm.
Yeah, and that is also your smutty Twitter. If anyone likes looking at dirty little pictures of monsters, I recommend following the Innkeeper Worm Twitter, which is just what it's spelled like, all one word. And Alan Lord yells, Meredith rules with multiple exclamation marks. So you've got a big fan in the chat.
Yay!
And Matt Sheridan says, Meredith, I'm so glad you're doing another book with us.
Yay!
Yeah, so Blue Moon is going to be a werewolf story that is a romantic tragedy. That
bad
YA romantic tragedy.
Okay. Yeah, and we
are
waiting
it will have a sad end.
Yeah, we are waiting on hopefully some. This is very petty, but it's a thing that matters. We are waiting on to see if any kind of announcement gets made in the publisher's press kind of thing, which is sort of I get to sit at the adult table at Thanksgiving version of publishing. Iron Circus for a long time has sat at the children's table with the tater tots and the chicken fingers, but it has longed for a long time to sit at the adult table where everyone is talking shit about, your sluttiest auntie and drinking cognac and eating Brussels sprouts and steak. And that's where we are now.
That's not appropriate dinner conversation.
Is this an experience you have had before, Spike?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Oh God.
Yeah. What? Your Thanksgivings did not degenerate into your family talking shit for like 3 hours?
No, they degenerated into like everyone goes to bed and then the adults start fighting and screaming.
Oh, no.
It didn't happen during dinner. That's not appropriate dinner talk.
Dinner was.
You save the shit talking until after everyone's drunk.
The kids are in bed.
That's when you get drunk, when you're at dinner.
No, not for
No,
us.
you get drunk after dinner.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Here's Spike. Also, my upbringing was extremely like Baptist. You didn't drink during dinner. You drank when the kids went to bed.
Oh, yeah. See, the thing with how Thanksgiving went down in the multiple households, because where I grew up, the deal was, one family had Thanksgiving for everybody one year, and then it just sort of rotated around the family. So no one did it 2 years in a row. But we would have the adult table and the kid table, but depending on the house, the kid table was within earshot of the adult table. And so, and they didn't really seem to care as the night wore on,
We had it was always at the same place. and yeah, they did not shit talk relatives that were in the room.
Oh God, no.
And they also that got saved for drinking later. Like, yeah, drinking. You have a glass of wine with dinner, but then you get fucked up after
Y'all
dinner.
just made me realize until I became an adult, I never actually saw an adult drink during dinner. Ever.
Wild.
Yeah. My
the-
parents were always just like, "You want to taste? You want to join in?"
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean drinking didn't happen. It just never happened while you were eating. It was like a secret
Yeah.
thing you did where people couldn't see you.
Yeah, my parents did the thing where after their whole big thing is like every year they had like the Boxing Day party. So after Christmas, the day after Christmas is Boxing Day. And that's when they kind of fulfilled their social calendar obligation to their friend group where they had the big Boxing Day party. And that was the kind of party where everyone showed up with a housewarming gift that was some form of alcohol. So that was like the real party. But the Thanksgiving party was definitely everyone gets like 3 glasses of wine in and the shit starts just happening. And not there weren't like fights or nothing. I'm talking about it's like, "Oh, so and so, little miss on her 3rd marriage, so and so who thinks she can just walk around hitting her own kids in public and I'm not going to say anything, so and so. Oh, I know her." Like that.
that is not an experience that happened in my household.
Oh, that's how I found out what adulting was.
Nah. We would just wait
I
till we
remember-
went to bed. Then you could listen to the adults talking through the walls.
See, there was one Thanksgiving I remember. I don't remember it super well because I was young, but it was in the house of a sort of like distant family friend. I think it was one of those deals like my dad went to college with this guy and they stayed in the same general area, but they still lived like 2 hours away. So it wasn't a regular thing that we visited them, but we went by there for Thanksgiving. And it was one of those times where looking back, it was clear a decision was made that I was too young to know the truth. So everyone just sort of like brushed me off and I never got the full story. But we had dinner and then I was wandering around the house with a couple of cousins and we came across the adult son of the family who had not been at Thanksgiving. He had been in his room eating there. And he was friendly and he was not, when I say adult, I don't mean like 40. He was like 22, 23. And he
Spike, quick question. How big is your extended family?
My mother has 7 brothers and 6 sisters.
Damn!
And they're Jamaican.
Sorry, I said that through a mouthful of cookies. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're Jamaican. I have, and that's just that side. And then my dad has a brother and a sister, and they have multiple children. So, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just wondering, like,
Mhm.
because basically in my family, while there was the kids table,
Mhm.
none of the kids ever actually graduated to the adult table,
Yeah.
even when they had children of their own, because there were just too many people in the family.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
they could not all fit at the same adult
See,
table.
my thing was always Thanksgiving was always immediate family only. Like it was like you didn't have it with extended family. It was just mom and dad and brothers and sisters. Maybe grandma, grandpa came.
Alan Lord says that's ... a lot, yo. Those are just the legitimate children. My grandpa was a slut.
Oh hey,
him and my
slut
grandma.
grandpas, high five.
Yeah, Amanda, you talked about how your grandpa on a previous episode of the Geek Show, you talked about how your grandpa had a secret family.
In Montana.
My grandpa had a not secret second family. Because this, to keep in mind, this is rural Jamaica, and this is, fucking 1,000 years ago. So divorce was 10,000% out of the question. And also, it should be noted here, in case you kind of want to get a handle on the power dynamics going on, grandpa was white and grandma was black. So what would happen is grandma and grandpa lived on a farm and they had their 14 kids.
Title.
And when they got into fights, like knock down, throw out fights, not like physical fights, but screaming across the house at one
Arguments.
another. Yeah. Grandpa would say, "Fuck this," and he'd go across the street, which is where his girlfriend lived. And he'd stay with her however long he felt like staying with her. But you could tell the number of knockdown dragouts that my grandma and grandpa had because there was a bastard across the street for each one. So when my grandpa had his funeral, there were his 14 children by my grandma and then his 4 or 5 by the lady across the street. And it was super tense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the benefit of having kids, is that you always have a sofa to sleep on when things get rough.
Yeah.
Meredith, how many folks are in your extended family?
Oh gosh. It's not that many. It's just I lose track because we're all over the place, and so we don't get together very often. I got one aunt, two aunts, and an uncle, and 3 cousins out of that.
Oh, compact.
Yes.
Oh god, I could talk a mile of shit about my family.
Well, my family is Catholic, so my dad is one of 6 and my mom is one of 8. Without any fucking the neighbor situation that we know about.
That you know about. I'm glad that you highlighted that.
Yeah, so it would basically be like we would all go to so since my mom is one of 8 and she's also one of the younger, she's like the second youngest of 8. So for Thanksgiving, basically her oldest sister had Thanksgiving and was like already out of the house by the time all her younger siblings were teenagers. So kind of they all just ended up going to her house for Thanksgiving because my mom's dad died when she was 16. And then that just continued. Is still going on. Like if I went home for Thanksgiving, I would be going to my aunt's house. Yeah, so basically there would be food and there would be a walk and then or watch TV. You got your choice. Do you want to watch a football game or do you want to go for a walk? And then dessert was served and that's when people got saucy.
I don't know why, but Spike's story made me flash back to my dad and my stepmom used to do these things where they'd go on friend trips. Like we didn't have a big family, but they had lots of friends in the neighborhood. We'd go on big camping trips with a bunch of their friends and their kids. So all the kids would get lumped into together. Like, y'all are friends now. I hope y'all like each other. That kind of thing.
Yep.
So, and I have this distinct memory of they put all the kids in one motel room and all the adults in the other motel room and had like a few adults to watch those kids. But like those adults they did not feel the need to not get drop dead drunk. And I have the distinct memory of waking up in the night and seeing one of those adults drunk and peeing in the corner of the motel room.
Ew.
I don't know why. You just made me think of that.
Just all class.
Yeah.
All class. Wow. Yeah, I didn't get to finish what I was saying before. When I went to the family house and the adult son was in his room. He seemed pretty content with chatting with, fucking children. And he proceeded to tell us a story of why he was an adult living with his parents. And that was back, I was a kid back then. So this is the 80s. So this wasn't nearly as common a thing. And it had a lot.
Ago.
The long, long ago, the before times. And he told us this story of heartbreak and betrayal and how everyone was against him at his job. And yeah. Keep in mind, we're like single digit age. Okay. So that's important to note. We're not like teenagers. We are young. And we're all like, oh, wow, that's awful. Oh, wow, that's awful. Oh, wow, that's awful. And on the drive home, I remember my parents going, so did you two have fun? And I was like, yeah. And I met so-and-so. And wow, he has a really sad story. And my parents were quiet for a minute. And in a certain tone of voice I would not recognize at the time, but later came to recognize as like the "oh really" voice. It was like, what did he say? And I talked about it, and there was another sort of moment of silence, and I saw, from the backseat of the car, I saw my parents kind of look at each other for a minute, and they just said, I think it was my mom who said something like, "That is not what happened. He has a very strange idea of what happened." And they just let it drop.
Oh,
And I never heard about it again. Fucking 30 plus years later, I've never heard of it. 40, like,
that's always the worst. When you're
Yeah,
like,
just-
I know something happened.
yeah, and I'm clearly just not ready to hear it for whatever reason. But yeah, and it was interesting because you aren't ready for that when you're a child. You're like, oh, okay. You just like don't think about it. But then when you're fucking, my age, you're in your fucking 40s, you're like sitting there like, oh God, what I wouldn't give to know the fucking real story behind that bullshit.
Did he murder somebody? Like, I need to know.
Exactly. I wish I knew. All I remember about him is he looked like a younger Steve Harvey. He had like the shaved head and a really, really bushy mustache. And I wish I knew the full story there.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes. Drama, secret drama, unworthy of a child. But anyway, we shouldn't be talking about Thanksgiving because it's December, everyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did that last week. We're done with that.
I didn't talk
It's
about
the
Thanksgiving. I talked about a man peeing in a corner of a room full of children.
I meant like we talked about Thanksgiving last
I know,
week,
I'm
so
joking.
we should.
I'm
Yeah.
joking. I'm playing.
It's the most irritating time.
60% of things I
the
say
year.
are
I'm
jokes.
I'm triggered by that. Please stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just know
Like,
that.
But legit, I hate
Yeah?
Christmas. Like,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan either, but I think it's more for ideological reasons than actual experiential reasons. So yeah.
I just have not good feelings about it.
Yeah.
It makes me
I think
sad.
I think it's
I have-
surprisingly common.
normal feelings about Christmas, but
Yeah.
this is the first year where we're like, maybe we won't do a tree or lights. We've
Yeah.
already gotten so much pushback. They're like, you can't do that. I was like, you have grandbabies now. I was like,
No,
they're
excuse
two.
me, I'm choking on a cookie. Sorry.
Ooh, you okay there?
It's a very good but very dry cookie. Keep talking.
All right. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Christmas season, primarily because I really don't like what it kind of turns people into, is really the best way I can put it.
Listen,
Like-
I've worked realty for the
Yeah.
holiday season for like a decade. I know.
Yeah, and it just feels like we can all sort of agree it's a fully secular holiday. Like, let's not bullshit. We all know that. But at the same time, it's not any kind of holiday that I can get behind. It's just this fucking mess.
I'm okay with it
and
in
it's for all the-
theory. I've never had
Yeah.
one that didn't stress me out.
Yeah.
Like, my
it's
family
stress-
is the type of family, and this comes from most of my family. No one is excluded, of the type of people who will stress and stress over making Christmas just right or not being able to afford it. And when you gently
Yeah.
suggest, well, why don't you just not buy me anything? They will flip out on you. Like, how
Yeah.
can you suggest not buying you anything? But it's like, but if money is a problem and you're openly complaining about money, don't
Yeah.
buy me anything. It's fine. No, we have to because it's Christmas. It's like, oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
social pressure. The
That shit
social pressure.
fucks me up.
I wish that was not the case.
Like, I remember my family would like have conversations like about like, I don't know how we're gonna afford Christmas, and even as kids we would like be like, why don't we not do Christmas? And it would result in like, how could you suggest
Screaming.
that? What is
Yeah.
wrong with you? It's like we were maladjusted for suggesting the parents cancel Christmas.
Yeah.
This is a problem. Let's remove the problem.
Exactly. How dare you consider removing the problem? How dare you?
It was also like a competition because and forgive me if I'm talking too much. I just
No,
downed
you're
half
not.
a Red Bull.
This is literally the point of the show, Amanda.
What are we here for? Not
Well,
to
we do have a
share.
guest, and you don't want to monopolize all the time. But the other thing was like between the ages of 8 to 16, my parents were kind of in a constant, ongoing custody dispute. Like, it was settled, but at any moment if one of the parents fucked up, the other, well, specifically my dad. My dad, if he smelled blood in the water, he would do a custody dispute. It was ridiculous. So they
Oh.
were always in competition and always like trying to. Long story short, that like they were trying to like beat each other on doing the better Christmas, and that didn't necessarily mean the Christmas that made the kids happiest. It was the Christmas that looked the nicest in the photos.
Yeah.
So we
yeah,
would
it
do
was
the thing where we
competitive.
have to like I would watch kids on TV. Like, do kids really get to like wake up in their pajamas and run downstairs and open presents?
Yeah.
Because our thing was, you get up, you go to church, you wear your nicest clothes, you keep wearing those nice clothes till you get home, and then you sit patiently on the sofa, and your presents are brought to you one by one, and you get a photo of you taken with each present you open.
Because it was about the evidence that they
Yes.
were the superior parent, not actually
my
getting you what you
God.
wanted. Yeah.
That's kind of like Christmas. This kind of gives me the hives because it just makes me think of wearing. And when I say our nicest clothes, like we were not a rich family, so our nicest clothes for me was like a crushed velvet skirt with a. I think I've even drawn it before because it was the only nice thing I had. So it was like this crushed velvet skirt with one of those silver chains built into it.
Hmm.
I was styling.
Okay, like legit, we need to stop talking about Christmas.
Okay. Okay. I can stay.
Let's talk about monster dicks.
Oh.
It's my monster girlfriend, Cal.
What does that have to? Wait, that
Okay.
doesn't omit dicks.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
How
fair
dare
enough.
you, Spike? Now I'm turning my rage on you.
Exactly. Please do. But yeah, I'd just like to take this moment to highlight again, everyone. I believe in my heart we can do it. We can make it to 250 because at 250, Seder will be destroyed by Boltungen. And I would love to show you folks that because while I have uploaded some saucy Seder and Boltungen stuff in the past, I have never done like a full-on comic where he is turned into a grease spot by his gigantic mean girlfriend. And I would love to share that with you folks.
I don't
So
know.
That's delightful.
As the
so if
editor, I don't know if that's up to snuff. I haven't
No.
seen the script.
Oh no!
I haven't seen
I mean, if you want
thumbnails.
snuff, we can make it snuff.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't know
No.
what you mean.
You
You just
do,
asked
you-
for snuff. You
I said
you
it-
just asked
nope.
for snuff, so that's what you're getting.
Well, then I will turn it down.
It's my company.
I am the gatekeeper of this book. Andrea will back me up.
No, you'll both be so entranced by what I have executed
No,
and what gets executed.
No.
You'll love it. You'll love it so much. You'll
I
be
can
so.
I
You'll
can
be
pull
all
the
like,
plug on this at any moment.
you know, it'll be like when all the gamers see Lady Dimitrescu, they'll be like, "Oh no, something has been awakened."
That's the whole book, Spike. That's the entire book. That's like the
Yeah.
Yeah,
opening.
that is the point of the book.
The
Like,
Yeah.
opening story
Turn-
is about like a Euclidean creature that has dimensions inside them and like 12 distinct vaginas
Yeah.
dispersed among those dimensions. You're doing
God,
nothing
what-
that will not have already been
what-
done.
What I wouldn't give to get a graphic novel out of Kanisha.
Oh,
I love Kanisha's
uh,
work so much.
oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Kanisha Bryant, everyone. I've when I was working the Iron Circus Twitter account, I uploaded a quick preview of Kanisha's story, and it's fucking awesome.
I hate their Twitter name because it always sounds like I'm insulting them. Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
is great
the
art.
very
It's the
worst.
very worst thing. And they're like, what? No, that's their username.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. But fucking give me a fucking graphic novel. I don't care. I'll fucking publish it. Just give it to me.
Also, you're
Good.
kind of in
Hot.
direct competition with Meredith for giant wolfy monster.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Fight.
Yeah,
fight,
except
fight.
yeah, it's just
Shut up,
Boltungen
DoorDash.
is explicitly a were hyena, which is significantly less dignified than any werewolf.
Well, yours
No-
is.
Well, no, the thing is, it's easy to find someone who likes wolves. It's not nearly as easy to find someone who's like, you know what the best one is? Hyenas. Hyenas,
they're
which like
not-
eat trash and like stick their heads in elephant assholes. Hyenas are the
Meredith,
best.
Actually, the more I learn
I-
about them, the more dignified they are. They're actually very nice.
Oh, hyenas are the
Noble.
fucking best.
They're like noble
I love-
creatures.
Yeah, hyenas are the fucking
eat
best. I
garbage.
fucking love them. Yeah, they eat garbage. They're actually very formidable. People talk shit about them because we've somehow collectively decided as a species lions are better for no rational reason. I think hyenas are
Aren't they
great.
Uh,
what, Kel?
I was just gonna say, Meredith, I am getting the drawing you did of Wolf for me framed and put on my wall.
Aw.
This is a very good drawing of him all tied up. Thank you.
Yeah.
He longs to be topped.
Some
He
people just have
does.
that kind of energy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay. This is an open-minded and safe space,
No, it's
everyone.
not.
If you
Someone
want to be
recently
destroyed,
asked
it's okay.
me. Someone recently asked me if I would do a Dirty Sorcery 101 comic, and I was like, no, though it wouldn't be hard. Danny does canonically like to get tied up.
Yeah.
So he gets tied up 3 times in the comic. That doesn't happen to you unless you're into it. Like,
Oh no.
It's really interesting.
How did
like,
this happen?
It's really interesting how like I'll have characters that are like, yeah, this adult character, I totally want to draw porn about them, and then I'll have another adult character who's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah, I
them
get-
like that, and I just don't
Or
want.
even I don't want other people to see them that way specifically.
I don't care how other people see them because they're adults. I don't care how someone sees them. But it's more. It's like kind of like how there are people in my lives I don't want to see fuck. I like y'all.
Oh boy, yeah.
I like
yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
I don't want to see y'all fuck.
Yeah, understandable, relatable.
That's the best way I can describe it. When someone's like, "Why wouldn't you make like porn about these characters? They're adults who have sex canonically." I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want to see them have sex any more than I want to see like Spike have sex. And I love
Oh,
Spike.
thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, this is kind of interesting because I am every once in a while there'll be a tweet that I'll retweet because I just like feel it so much. And the tweet is along the lines of, there's a debate that occasionally goes on, which is a very fucking stupid debate, and it's going to be obvious which side I fall on. And the debate says sex scenes are never contributive towards character development and never necessary in
Who the hell
storytelling.
says that? I've never heard that.
You know who
Idiots.
says it. You can
Idiots
guess.
say
You
that.
can guess who says that.
I have heard arguments similar, but never quite that far personally.
Yeah, there are definitely people who put it exactly that far, and I'm sure you could guess what their favorite website is. But but every once in a while I'll see someone
That's
like
a
pushing
lot of websites, Spike.
the one with the highest concentration of Puritans. How about that?
Quora.
So Twitter
Yeah,
or
no,
TikTok?
no,
Yeah,
no.
TikTok's making the round. Yeah, TikTok's gonna
Yeah,
supersede Tumblr.
they're on TikTok now. I know, Spike, you were about to call out Tumblr, but
Yeah.
Tumblr doesn't have teens on it anymore.
Although
It has shit posting adults.
I am thoroughly and deeply fascinated by Tumblr kind of like the hints of babies' sexuality coming online that you see in really popular TikTok posts. Like there's this whole subgenre of TikTok that's just, for example, somebody pretending to be your boyfriend. And it's something you see on YouTube sometimes. Like there'll be like anime girl sleeps in bed next to you and whispers to you about her day, and you're supposed to put it on and fall asleep. But on TikTok, it's just like their hashtag. My personal favorite hashtag is hashtag mafia boyfriend. So you'll see these like pouty 20-year-old boys with too much product in their hair, pretending they came home from like a hard day of being in the mafia.
Okay, so it's the first tentative steps into role play.
Yeah, it's wild because like you can
Well,
really
no,
just.
I mean,
with
this is an
absolute
industry. This has
clarity-
existed as a VHS industry before. Like this isn't.
Yeah. Well,
new to
yeah, but I'm
TikTok,
saying,
it's more TikTok's being utilized.
yeah, but the thing that like kind of it's like I can picture with like absolute crystal clarity, like the 14-year-old girl or boy, you know, in Scranton, and it's like 11, and their phone should have been off and charging at 9 because they have school tomorrow, but instead they are under the covers watching hashtag mafia boyfriend TikToks and dreaming of a better life.
That's reminding me of like this VHS. I remember someone showing it to me. Not me. I think it was someone doing a show online, and they shared like was it Red Letter Media? Was it them? I think they found like a VHS that was like some dude doing that thing like from like the 80s or 90s. It's some dude like talking to you and like you're his girlfriend and like talking to me like you can react, but he like is always wearing jeans and he's ironing jeans. I just remember him as the jeans.
Ironing?
Yes, I remember he was. Yes,
So-
thank you, Red Letter Media. I think he was. Yes, I distinctly think he was ironing jeans. If that's the thing that sticks out most to me, it was very upsetting.
So an interesting thing about teens today, in fandom is
Get him, Kel.
so this was a conversation, my ongoing conversation with Kevin about social media. We were talking to another friend who has gotten involved in the Our Flag Means Death fandom. And as an adult, their interactions with this fandom is interesting. But one thing that they commented on is that teens don't know how to tag shit anymore. Like, apparently a thing that a lot of younger folks, they're so used to posting on, say, TikTok or Tumblr or Twitter, some sort of social media that has an algorithm that like boosts your posts and gets you more engagement. So they'll like post their fanfic on AO3, which is old enough that it doesn't have an algorithm. You just gotta tag shit and it shows up in order of like most recent first. So they're like, the algorithm on Archive of Our Own is not boosting my fic. And it's like, it's because there isn't an algorithm. You have to tag things.
Wow. Okay.
And this is partly why they get so upset about stuff that they don't approve of being allowed on Archive of Their Own, because they don't know how to tag anything. So they are accidentally stumbling on things they do not want. Or not realizing, like, if it says this thing is in there, that thing is in there, and you should not read it if that is not your thing. But yeah, so it's just an interesting complaint of like, oh, the algorithm isn't boosting my fanfic. It's like because you didn't tag it with anything.
What a fascinating modern problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't like fabricating a memory, and I looked it up, and the title it was a DVD, not a VHS. Ooh, DVD video, and it was on one of Red Letter Media shows, and the name of the DVD is "Incredible Instant Adoring Boyfriend" on DVD.
Oh,
and it does in fact have a scene of the shirtless man ironing jeans.
Bless. How adorable. But yeah, like the hashtag, the themed boyfriends are very interesting. And again, this is all about, at the end of the fucking day, it's about popularity and capitalism and being the macaque that all the other macaques pay cherry juice to look at. And
what? Okay, never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, remember my study? But yeah, the thing that really fascinates me is, you know, they want the algorithm to boost them. They want the most eyes on them possible for whatever reason. Some of them want to be models. Some of them want to be actors. Some of them, who knows what some of them want. But there's a really strong sense of follow the leader. And one of my favorite is all the TikTok hashtag boyfriends went through a Spider-Man phase, because one of them started wearing the Spider-Man costume, you know, minus the hood, for all his, you know, lip biting, lip licking, staring you down, eye fucking videos. And it did really well. And in that sort of cargo cult kind of way, all the rest decided, must have been the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, it had to be this one thing.
I cannot tell you how much the lip biting thing makes like do the half hurl.
Cringe. Yeah, it's terrible. It's so forced. It's so try hard.
I've never seen a lip bite.
Yeah, it's just
that didn't make me go.
They just do this thing. It's like, kind of, the best way to describe it is Jack Sparrow kind of weaving back and forth a little bit as they slowly approach the camera, and they're just like, no. I love looking at it, and I love imagining like the fucking 13-year-old girl who's looking at it and sighing the way her great auntie once looked at like a Tiger Beat poster.
Anyway, I think that inability to tag thing is fascinating.
Yeah, so do I. It's interesting.
And
sort of.
it kind of like shows how much the internet has changed in such a short time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Anyway, this was the first week of my social media assistant.
And
so far so good. I have to give her a couple of like minor instructions, but they're like she hasn't done anything wrong. It's more okay, do more of this and less of this.
Are you checking out your metrics, seeing what's
well, it's only been a week, so
Yeah, those
and a
metrics
lot
are
of these
useless
are
so far.
like yeah, and so it's more like making sure she gets in the habit of doing what I want.
Sure.
Back that whip.
Also, yeah. Also, part of it is that a lot of the things that she's posting on are new accounts. So they're not going to have a whole lot of interaction right off the bat anyway.
Fair enough.
Well, I am
But
glad that Hive seemed stinky, so I avoided it.
Oh, are we talking about Hive? Yeah.
I mean, I am now with my mouse at this moment.
Yeah. The deal with Hive is I think I'm not going to sit here and read malicious intent into anything they're doing. What I think happened,
no.
and this is all opinion, of course. What I think happened is quite simply someone found Hive and noticed it had the lowest bar of entry for anyone who was already used to Twitter and started spreading the word. And people at the heart of it, most people are not huge fans of change, and they're going to go for the thing that is resembles the thing that they are already used to. Hive was not prepared for any of it, and they were slammed by a tsunami, and all the kind of attention they got, they never dreamed they get, and all the security holes were exposed, not because they're like muahaha, but because oh fuck, we didn't think of that. You know, they have downtime not because they're fucking with people, but because oh fuck, we weren't ready for this. And I think people who
we
are
were all on
malicious intent into it kind of need to.
We were all on Twitter early enough to remember the fail whale. So
oh god, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of
I do not know about the fail whale.
Oh, if
Twitter
servers...
used to, when Twitter went down, there would be a picture of a whale trying to be lifted up by tiny birds holding ropes.
I do remember this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fail whale was just a thing on Twitter for a long time, and nobody was just, and then eventually it went away as they kind of got their shit more together. But yeah, they are strictly in fail whale territory over on Hive right now. But quite frankly, this is my personal endorsement, everyone. You want to be on co-host and you want to be on Pillow Fort because straight up
caveats to that.
Okay, what caveats?
Oh, you continue. I'll add my caveat.
Okay. Co-host has come the closest for me to the internet being legitimately fun again of any social media. And by that, I mean, I can load up my timeline, refresh the feed, and it'll be someone using CSS to make Beyblades and someone else just uploading,
that's a different type of code.
and someone else uploading pictures they found on public domain repositories of etchings of women throwing themselves into river and, hashtag river, and just people uploading really interesting and fun art. And because of specifically how co-host works, kind of a lot of the sort of popularity attempts are kind of diffused because among the things you cannot see on co-host are other people's followers and other people's faves and likes and stuff like that. And as a result, I feel that there's a lot less prioritization of like winning than there are on other sites.
I do wish you could see other people's likes, because if I find an artist I like on co-host and I can then possibly find artists similar to them by looking at their likes, but I understand. Like, it's not a requirement, but I think like
I would like my likes to remain private. I don't want people to. I want to be able to like a picture of a kitten and also like a post of bare ass titties, and that not to be in conflict.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
That is how I feel as well.
Or maybe make it optional. Maybe it be something you can toggle on and off.
Yeah.
I don't want people to see my likes. I would like to like things, and that's between me and God and co-host.
You and God and co-host, got it.
I've never liked likes being public. If I wanted people to see the things I liked, I would share them.
I kind of feel the same way too. Yeah.
If I want you to see, like, oh, I found this great drawing, I want people to see it. Share.
Yeah. I'm enjoying co-host a lot. Pillow Fort I am also enjoying, but it does not have the same vibe, and that's the best I can put it. It does not have the same vibe as co-host, whereas co-host is almost aggressively fun, like incredibly determined to be
I think it
fun.
also depends on who you're following. Yeah, but I know who you're following. It's the same people I'm following. They are fun people.
Yeah. And it's just really nice to have social media where it's like people just wild out and they're being goofy
Like,
as shit.
If my caveat was kind of, it's like the flip side of that. I like co-hosts for the same reasons, but if like you are looking for the Twitter replacement because you are trying to promo stuff, you're trying to like get your stuff seen, co-host is not going to be. Just simply
No,
isn't.
no,
It's not
co-host
in
will
its
never be that
DNA
for
or
you.
its mission statement.
Yeah, it'll never be that for you. It's just not happening. And that's kind of honestly nice. It sounds bizarre to say, but that's nice.
That's
I
why
like
I'm
that.
enjoying it.
Yeah, that's really refreshing. Anyway, I recommend everyone get a co-host. Don't freak out if you get it and you can't post. Like for a while there, I don't know if they're still doing it.
It's still
but
got some.
yeah, there's going to be a lag between being able to post and getting an account, and that's by design.
They're slowly letting people on. So like, there's a queue.
Yeah, but it's worth the wait. Trust me, it's fun. Everyone go get a co-host. Untitled Project says, I'm just going to delete Twitter. Yeah, you can do that.
I'm keeping as long as it's where I have the most obvious followers, I'm going to keep it because I do have stuff I want to promo, and if it's there and the audience is there, fine.
Yeah, my whole mood about Twitter right now is it's useful to me, and it's still useful to me. It's tangibly useful to me. I can see the referrers from Twitter on my crowdfund, so I'm not going to delete Twitter. Twitter is useful.
Meredith,
If Twitter
Meredith, have you thrown your hat into a social media ring?
Yeah,
I'm a late adopter to everything. I'm just gonna let all the skirmishes play out, and then what'll probably happen is the same thing that happens with all of my other social medias. I get enough questions at conventions like, do you have an Instagram or a Twitter? And I'm like, no, but I will now.
Yeah, I guess I kind of have
clearly
to.
I'm missing.
Yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah,
and I can understand people's annoyance at kind of feeling obligated to participate in that scramble for attention, but it's really not.
That's why I'm paying someone to do it for me.
But it's really not honestly that different from how it's always been. I'm old enough to remember when people wanted to go into commercial art. You would take classes and the classes would recommend things like, well, what you have to do is you have to get this list of names of every editor of every magazine in the United States. And you have to just on the dot every couple months, you send them a brand new postcard featuring your latest work. And you have to theme the postcards so that if this person wants editorial style illustration, you could send them that. But if this person works for Wizards of the Coast and wants Magic the Gathering cards illustrated, you got to send them a totally different postcard. And this was something you were expected to do. And it's kind of the same thing, except it costs you money.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a big fan of I wish it would go back to how it was. No, it's not. No. It's not any different. It's not any different. It's just now it's free.
Yeah.
The bar's lower. But anyway. Don't be sad because Twitter is dying, everyone. I am old enough to remember multiple social media platforms dying, and you will survive.
You can be sad.
You can, yeah, but don't act like it's the end of the world, I guess.
I just don't know where I'm going to go for all my porn.
Again,
What?
Co-host. Okay.
Well,
I didn't.
oh,
That's
co-host
also a
does
part of it.
allow adult stuff. Yeah.
yeah, co-host allows adult
Okay.
stuff, and so does Pillow Fort, as far as I know.
In fact, they have
Okay.
much
I-
That's
better
always like the
ways.
threshold.
Yeah.
They have much better like filtering, they have a way better. This is porn. Click if you want to see it. You got to click this to hide it. Twitter's has always been
Yeah.
finicky and weird.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like this is sensitive media. Like no, that's not what it is. It's just say it's porn.
Yeah.
I would like to know what a thing is. People
And
use
that
that
is your
sensitive
right.
media for anything from like, oh, this video shows violence or oh, this is a boobie. It's like, no, those are not the same things. I don't like them being under the same warning tag. Not warning tag. What would it be? Content warning, I guess.
Content warning, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Tumblr
yeah,
was where I got all my porn, and then, well, rip.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rip,
Rip
to my
indeed.
pieces. I would like I would love it if co-hosts, and I think this is in the pipeline, did local tags, because like Twitter doesn't do local tags either. I would just love local tags where it's like if you click original art on my co-host page, you wouldn't see everyone's post who used the original art tag.
Yeah.
I think that's in the pipeline. I think I look.
Yeah, a thing to note about co-host is it has this in common with Hive, where it's a work in progress. There's a lot going on there, and it's not quite finished, and it doesn't claim to be finished.
I shouldn't have.
So you're
done
gonna
this
have to be
entire
patient.
Red Bull. That was supposed to last.
You have to be patient, folks. You have to be patient. How
I
dare you?
refuse. I hate social media.
Yeah, and I get it. You're allowed to hate social media, and I think you are going about it as well as you possibly can as a person who does hate social media, you know?
Yeah.
Like you kind of understand on a strictly its business level that you kind of you ignore it at your own peril.
Yeah.
I mean, there
Which
are
sucks.
there are also creators who have no
Social presence.
no social media presence
I
whatsoever.
feel like the people with no social media, like if you're working in strictly kid stuff,
Yeah, that's
you can get away with less social media because kids ain't on social medias.
yeah, no child, just even if it's their favorite book on earth, no 5-year-old is going to be desperate to get on Instagram or Twitter and follow Mo Willems because he wrote "Don't let the pigeon drive the bus."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In my opinion, anyway. Maybe you know different 5-year-olds.
I don't know. Give them
No,
a
that sounds
year.
about right.
But yeah, Mare, do you have any plans for the new year on account of like con stuff? Are you going to sort of surrender the same way I feel Iron Circus is being forced to and start returning to the con circuit?
Meredith has already returned to
yeah.
concert.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Where have
Yeah.
you been?
I did Emerald and Phoenix and NYCC.
How are you finding them?
Phoenix is local, so it's like I have to do it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Emerald is always a good time. Like it's nice to meet everybody, and it's previous to other social medias. It was the only way I would get all the good industry gossip.
Yeah, yeah.
And then NYCC, it endeared itself to me more than the last time I did it, but I'm still sort of
I hate NYCC.
It's it's still a long ways to go.
I strongly resisted attending New York Comic-Con, despite people going, "You really should," because I've been there not tabling, and I'm sorry, I hate that vibe. I fucking hate the vibe. I hate everything about that vibe.
I have no idea about it.
It's extremely San Diego.
Again?
No, it's not. No, San Diego is a million times better than New York City Comic Con. New York City Comic Con is the worst con.
Joe McDonald, professional San Diego defender.
No, this is the thing, is the San Diego Convention Center is so much fucking nicer than the Javits Center. The Javits Center is cramped, and then they only ever have one door open, so there's always a fucking bottleneck fire hazard. They shove all the artists in the basement so they can be gross and sweaty, and like it's horrible, it's dark, and overly crowded. The San Diego Convention Center is big enough that it doesn't feel that crowded as compared to New York. Like, it is obviously crowded, but it is not New York's Comic-Con crowded. It's like if you tried to fit all the attendees of San Diego Comic-Con in a space a third of the size is New York City Comic-Con. And then the weather is always shittier than San Diego Comic-Con. Like, if you want to leave San Diego Comic-Con, you can at least go to the beach, like, for a break. Like, New York City Comic-Con is the fucking worst.
Do you remember back in the day when, like, some folks from Webcomics Nation, they would come to San Diego with no hotel plans? And for folks who don't know, you don't fucking do that. You haven't done that for the better part of a decade plus, where it's a nightmare. You have to get your hotel like a year in advance. There's a whole process. But they would just show up to San Diego and they had no room, and they would just sleep on the beach.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, well, I can think of a lot of
Why not?
What are the demographics of this team?
Oh, so I think you can get.
They're dudes, so why not?
They were large, hairy men who were doing this, and it's like, yeah, I bet you can just fucking sleep on the beach, my guy.
I've been camping on the beach multiple times. It's not fun. Don't like it. Much sand.
Yeah.
Much sand in your
that
sleeping
it gets
bag.
everywhere.
Yes. There's no escaping this.
Mm-hmm.
Or the drunk fighting going outside. Going on outside the
So like, whenever people are like, oh, San Diego Comic-Con's the worst, it's like, no, New York City Comic-Con's the worst. It just is. Like, there's
you hate it. You hate it with your whole soul.
Yeah, the Javits Center is a horrible place. Like, it's also run by Reed Pop, so it's disorganized on top of being expensive. Like, San Diego Comic-Con, while expensive, is at least like, shit to do. Turn it in, here's your stuff, good, have a nice time. Like, everything runs like clockwork with them.
Sure.
Whereas Reed Pop, it's like, oh, we lost your application and your check, and oh, we have to go here and then here to get your badge, and we're not going to enforce masks even though there's a pandemic going on. And
because fuck that, yeah.
I am at least grateful that they have the metal detectors now.
Oh God, yeah. Maybe it's just me, but I remember when.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started seeing metal detectors at cons, and I just felt kind of sad. Like, I didn't oppose it because obviously I think we're kind of living in a world where that's sadly necessary. But I just remember when that would have felt absurd. And I recall now with just a pang of sadness that no longer feels absurd.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember kind of the big catalyst for that going down?
I mean,
I was at that show.
Oh, so you were there when the Green Ranger dodged being assassinated by like a hare?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For folks who don't know, yes, the TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there was a character, I think his name was Tommy on the show.
Yes,
and he played the Green Ranger.
He was the Green Ranger, and then he was the White Ranger.
Yeah, and there was a super fan, the kind of super fan that is intensely parasocial, has fantasized this entire relationship with this person. And that relationship, of course, because it's not being reciprocated, because it is non-existent, sort of develops into resentment and then into pure hatred. And this guy decided he was going to go to the local comic convention, and he was going to literally fucking kill the Green Ranger right there on the floor of the show. And the only reason it didn't happen, because there were not metal detectors there, the only reason it didn't happen is because he was wildly incompetent. And
and he was like, I think he had a katana on him and stuff, and in addition to, firearms. But it was like just a ridiculous armory. I was like, oh boy, yay.
And because people are used to cosplayers showing up with kind of all kinds of goofy weaponry, people weren't looking too close at what people were bringing in. And he walked,
like, he got caught because, like, the security was talking to him about a different thing he did wrong. And while talking to him, an alarm on his phone went off that was labeled "Kill the Green Ranger."
Because that was when Tommy, the guy playing Tommy rather, was going to return to his table for signings.
No, it was during a panel.
Was it during a panel? Okay.
Yeah. It was like, so he would be sitting in the same place for a long time.
Okay. Well, that is why you now walk through metal detectors when you go to a lot of the big shows, everyone.
Also, there were, like, I think New York Comic Con actually did get metal detectors before that incident because of death threats Gamergators were giving different people.
Figures.
Yay! Look, every community's got its weirdos.
Yeah,
that's fucking
truth.
But Meredith tables with me every Emerald City.
Yes.
Are you noticing any change in the show?
I think this year people were kind of like desperate to give you their money.
Oh wow, sounds good.
Yeah. I think everyone wanted to be like out and about so much. They're just like, please, I need everything. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I can oblige you.
Yeah, that's why part of me is kind of looking forward to the next TCAF, because Iron Circus hasn't done Toronto in years, and we've published a lot of shit between then and now. And Canadians do not want to buy American stuff for reasons we have talked about before, because it's just too fucking expensive. The shipping is obnoxious.
Yeah.
And they use TCAF as their opportunity to load up. And I'm excited to see what Iron Circus does at the next TCAF.
When is TCAF next year? What
That's
month?
That's a good question. Amanda, aren't you in charge of that?
I just moved. I have had hands off for a while. I will be transitioning back into that mode in like a within the week.
Yay.
I only just got a bookshelf. Let me be.
And sometimes
I
I
sleep on the floor. Go away.
Sometimes I question your dedication to Sparkle Mode.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah. Oh god.
If I wanted to be miserable at a job, I could go back to waiting table.
Retail. Yeah.
I'm getting compliments on my drawing. Thank you for complimenting my drawings.
I'd be sharing my drawings, but Amanda wouldn't let me.
Because we have a guest and you didn't want to show your drawings. You wanted to play RimWorld.
So what if I did? Everyone loves RimWorld.
Guess.
Meredith, don't you love RimWorld?
Dies when you're playing RimWorld.
Meredith, don't you love RimWorld though?
I can see myself loving RimWorld.
There you go. See, Amanda. So there.
April.
They still haven't updated. They still haven't updated Pawn Morpher.
Oh, that's right. You're suffering. I forgot.
Yeah.
I've been thinking
you can't turn my enemies into dogs.
Yeah, I see. That's just not fair. That's not fair to the other children.
I've been thinking about playing it just to have something to play while live streaming, and since I'm really shitty and don't know what I'm doing, it'd be a fun, because people yelling at you for playing bad is engagement.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And people would absolutely like RimWorld is one of those games where you can you can get sweaty. I believe the terminology is. You can get extremely sweaty.
Never mind. I don't want
to. Okay, Mr. Samuel's streamer always says that, and I don't know what the fuck he means by that.
I don't want to be sweaty, and I don't know what that means.
Sweaty means micromanaging.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I thought that was
then I guess that's Yeah, like that's sort of the point of RimWorld.
Yeah, that is kind of the point of RimWorld, but when people say micromanaging, they mean like selecting the exact perfect kill box and making sure it's using the right kind of stone, not sandstone, not limestone. It's got to be, granite, and selecting
so the way that I play RimWorld, like
Yeah, if you see him play, you'll see him talk about this is very
Micromanaging to
sweaty.
me just means doing a lot of things at once.
I mean, I suppose, but he says sweaty, so I say sweaty.
I gotta step away just for a quick second. Sorry.
No, don't go.
I think that's why I don't know what he means by sweaty RimWorld is because like that's the default way to play in my mind.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I don't min-max. I have fun with it. I enjoy myself. I'm not really super into the idea of playing optimally at all times. I think optimization it's fun for who it's fun for, but it shouldn't be the end goal of playing a video game. A video game at its heart is still supposed to be recreational. So I'm always very sort of, the lip curl at people who sit in streams and go, that's not the best way to do it as tabulated by my Excel sheet where I calculate the best material to make a dining room
Did
table out of.
you watch Dan Olson's newest video?
It's on my to watch list.
Which one's that?
And why it's rude to be bad at World of Warcraft.
Oh, I can already guess why that would be, but no, I haven't seen it.
And it's kind of about like people min-maxing. And so since so it's kind of just like how expert practices, because they are the most efficient, kind of sort of force everyone else to play the same way. Because since it's a team, if you don't play the most efficient way possible, you are letting the team down.
Yeah, you are
is the short version of it.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where he's coming from, honestly. Maybe that's part of why I'm not so super into group games. I like individual games where I can just
that
sit
depends on who
quietly
you're
on my
playing
own.
with. I've played group games with friends, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
Like I stopped recently because I was getting pinged a lot and it was freaking me out. But I was playing Don't Starve Together with Kel and other people, and I was just running around like, what can I do? What can I do to help? What can I do to help? And I was being given
that
odd
game
jobs.
and that game is really just what killed Bones today. Because Bones likes to get into fights they cannot win in that game. So
I definitely know there are people who try to play that optimally, like they have strategies, but it's sort of like not in my group.
Like the closest to being optimized is me being very anal about organizing what's going in what chest. Like
oh yeah, Matt,
like
I also suck at Don't Starve. I only play it when I can play Don't Starve Together and everyone's holding my hand.
Aww.
Yeah. So it's really like because a fun thing in Don't Starve Together is you can make little resurrection things to give your buddy. So in our current game that we've built, we just have a chest that's full of resurrection hearts because we die that often. So
sounds efficient.
But yeah, I guess I play Sweaty RimWorld all the time because I'm always like, I'm not picking this location because it doesn't have granite, the strongest rock, and marble, the prettiest rock. If I don't have both those rocks, what's the point of even building my base here? Like,
fair enough.
I actually just got a mod that lets you like adjust the landscape of a map before you even like open it. So now I'm just like no any other type of rock, just those two. All other rocks can fuck off.
I was playing before I moved. I was playing my stupid dinosaur game, and I was getting like backseat dinosaur game what do you call it? Like, I don't know what you'd call it, like gaming? All I know
Backseat
is
gaming.
everyone was
Yeah.
like yelling at me like how to like not die, and I was like, y'all have confused me, and now I am dead. My
Yeah.
Therizinosaurus named Ravioli died that day, and I blame it on everyone yelling at me on how to not die.
It's all their fault. How dare
It's
they?
all their fault. Ravioli is dead.
Yeah. See, part of the reason I really enjoy RimWorld though
Vengeance
is
is
I
the
can have a leisurely game. I usually try to restrict myself to an hour or so. And for example, like last time I played, like I said earlier, my 14-year-old slave boy fertilized the extracted eggs of his 50-year-old slave master, who is also
Flip
a
this.
robot lord.
Flip this.
And so a child, I'm being put on a list somewhere for sure. A child was born, and the child is now being raised in the colony. But the thing is, I want the child to be raised in safety. So it's in my best interests to cultivate allyship with everyone who will ally with me. And so I like to picture the outlands far from my colony where my allies live in their villages and towns and cities. And they're going about their day, but then they see a flicker in the sky and they look up. And what they see is it's a transport pod just coming towards them at the speed of sound,
Where
and
the baby is.
it re-enters atmosphere and it plops down in their town square, and they go, "Oh, it's another gift from Aya, who is my robot lord's name. It's another gift from Aya. I wonder what she sent." And they crack it open, and it's just
And it's drugs.
full of lungs, just
Oh.
packed with lungs, just 10 lungs. And they're like, "More lungs."
What?
Oh, this makes us like her even more. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I'm usually a very reasonable person. I have a general rule I play by, kind of no matter who or what I'm playing. And it's like, if you're not trying to kill me, there won't be a problem. It's when you try and kill me when the problems start.
Well, how does
And
that relate to how you having all these lungs? The lungs are the
because
thing.
if you attack me, if you try to kill me and I manage to down you in combat without killing you, 3 things are happening. No, 4 things, excuse me. 4 things are happening. 1, I'm taking a lung. 2, I'm taking a kidney. 3, I'm converting you to my religion. And 4, I'm selling you into slavery. Those are the 4 things that are happening if you try to kill me.
So, Spike, I have
And then you
the
send those
mod that
lungs as
lets you.
gifts?
Yes, each lung is worth $1,000 in RimWorld. And so when I pack a transport pod with 10 lungs, that's
That you
$10,000
send to
worth
a village?
of goodwill
Yep.
to a foreign faction, which they always appreciate.
So Spike, I have the mod that lets you harvest organs post-mortem, because in my mind it does not make sense that I can't take organs out of freshly dead bodies.
That makes perfect sense, yes.
Yeah, like, so because of that though, I am buried in lungs and kidneys and stomachs and every body part. Like, if a body part is not damaged when I kill them, we can rip it out of them. So I'm very much like, I just have too many organs. It's that Invader Zim screenshot. Such plentiful organs.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love to send them to other colonies because it's like, "Oh, honey, yes. Oh, it's another gift from the cult of Aya. You know, the lung people." Just
A new shipment of lungs.
how thoughtful. It's amazing. I was just saying, wasn't I just saying, Steve, we need some lungs.
It's like, what was it? You used to gift people like milk delivery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, the 4 things that happen to you if you try to kill me, they're very basic. But a 5th thing can also happen to you these days. Like I said, I am playing a robot lord character, and sometimes the robot lord needs to make complicated robots, really big complicated robots. And in RimWorld, the big complicated robots cannot be made without a very advanced AI core. And in RimWorld, the AI
soul of a
core
child?
cannot be
The soul of an orphan child?
I have put an orphan child in it, but yes.
Okay.
It doesn't explicitly need to be an orphan child. It doesn't explicitly need to be a child.
It just makes me think of that Venture
That's what
Brothers
I was
thing. What is
referencing,
this
yeah.
thing made out of? An orphan? It's
But-
powered by a forsaken child? I didn't use the whole thing.
But yeah, there is a device in RimWorld called the subcore rip scanner. And what the subcore rip scanner does is you put a person in it and they die horribly with their brain being turned into a slushy for the sake of making an AI core for a super powerful robot.
Okay, Spike.
Yes.
Because we have a guest, we should cool it on the RimWorld talk.
We should.
Yes,
It's
our
just
guests
always
get
fun.
more grace than I do.
Yes, sorry, Meredith.
It's okay.
Kel and I have a shared interest.
We're gonna play it on Christmas.
Yeah, we're gonna play RimWorld on Christmas. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna live stream it. We're gonna live stream both of us playing RimWorld while raising money for charity. I'm announcing it now, so we have to do it.
Yeah. That's another one of those. See, this is why you come to the Geek Show, everyone, for the secret insider info.
I'm gonna make a graphic for it this weekend. But yes.
I make a graphic and announce it. Will you eat a hot dog with me, Spike?
Sure, why not?
Will it be heartwarming?
Yeah, I'll eat a hot dog with you, just not tomorrow or Saturday.
Damn it.
By the way, Meredith, one of the things I wanted to talk about when I found out you were going to be a guest this week is you do comics that are not Iron Circus related, and you do art that is not cute monsters fucking each other's brains out related, and it's all sort of like autobiographical stuff.
Oh yeah. The little journal comics.
Yeah, those are always really nice to see. It's always a delight when they cross my dash.
Oh, thank you.
And you're braver than I have ever been, because maybe it's just the generation I am, but autobio feels like putting yourself out there in a way I have never been fully prepared for.
I do remember a couple of conventions early on where somebody would come up and was like, I'm really sorry to hear about your dog or something, emotional that I had put on the internet. I was like, how dare you? How do you know about this? And it was like, I shared it with the world.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did a whole comic about that. Duh. Yeah. And we kind of live in an environment where parasocial preoccupation, I think, is kind of always a danger, which has always been a big discouragement to me before I even knew that term existed. I knew the phenomenon existed. So a lot of people on the internet think they know you.
Yeah, you do get a couple of instances where it's like very clear this person wants to be friends and that is not happening. Like,
Yeah.
no.
And I've talked about this before, but like, I'm not against making new friends. I'm cool with making new friends, but without sounding excessively self-important, these days I am more guarded than I have been in the past, because I am more cognizant of how random people view me than I have ever been before. And there are people who don't view me in a way it's like, oh shit, she also likes Minecraft, she also likes RimWorld, she also likes Hard Space Shipbreaker. Cool, we should get a game going. Or that's fun, I like that too, let's talk about it. They view me in a way where I am seen as useful, like, to them.
Yeah.
And I have had a few sort of experiences like that where there was a moment where I was useful, and the friendship was maintained. And then it became clear I was no longer useful, and communication, it was like a door slammed shut. It was wild, and it literally took me like months to sort of figure out what happened, because maybe they expected me to sign them at some point and I never did, and then they got signed by someone else and they just literally just stopped fucking talking to me flat. I'm like,
sometimes people just get really busy really suddenly and they never come.
And I mean, sure, I suppose that's also possible. I have no reason to believe that's what happened, but that's entirely
within... I've done that before.
Yeah, that's within the realm of possibility, certainly. But when it happens more than once, that's when you're like, So now I'm all guarded and weird.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm one of those
Yeah, you don't want to see malicious intent. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a part of me that longs for some sort of anonymity too, where
Oh
it's
my
like
god, yes. Oh my god, yes.
please no one pay attention to
Yeah.
my
Like
social
I
media.
like to make lots and lots of jokes on the Twitter, and I've had to like pull back because like, oh no, people pay attention. You weren't supposed to
Yeah.
look at me when I did the thing.
Yeah,
Which is
perceive me,
bizarre
please
because
don't perceive me.
Yes.
yeah, it's so bizarre because it's like you have social media so people will look, but simultaneously you're like, don't look.
Well, it's more of a you get tricked into this idea that we're all together. We're in a big room. We're all talking to each other. And then suddenly everyone in the room is looking at you. And it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. No. No, I wanted
Yeah.
to be intermingling in the big room where everyone is talking. Oh, no. Now everyone has
Yeah.
put me on a stage with a microphone. This is not what I came to this party for.
And it
This is
doesn't
my
help.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help with the current mood of social media. I forget which law it is. It's one of those internet laws, but if you say something and it gets popular, it's basically a countdown to someone deciding you meant the exact opposite of what you said and taking grievous offense at it and like rolling up trying to start a fight for
Yeah.
literally no good fucking reason. And it's all like, wow, you just showed up like a fucking suburbanite soccer mom showed up to my Pearl job where something clearly happened to you today and I had nothing to do with it, but
Pancake
you've
slaw, that's
decided
what it
it's my
was.
fault. Say what?
Pancake slaw.
And you just decided it's like
think it's
I'm a
based off a
safe
tweet.
person. I'm a safe person to exercise your rage at. And it's like, bitch, I am literally over here tweeting about tangerines. You need to settle.
I mean, half the time when someone's like, 50% of vitriol at you on the internet is just from someone who is searching for something and just
Yeah,
being
so-
an asshole.
Yeah,
You
they need a
know,
target.
Can you fucking imagine how
But-
sad a
but-
fucking life that is?
But 50% is you were someone had a straw breaking the camel's back moment and you were the one right in front of them. That's the other
Yeah,
stuff. That sometimes it really is that's not justified, obviously, but it's not personal. It's not personal.
Mm.
Someone just had their moment and you were the one in front of them.
Yeah, and quite frankly, one of the things that I've said this in here before, and I talked to Matt about it on occasion, that when you get past a certain number of followers on Twitter explicitly, I've not had this experience on any other social media, you occasionally need to do a certain level of maintenance. And part of that maintenance is making it clear, and I don't mean this to sound the way it does, but it's simply how I've managed to still maintain a functional Twitter at like 70K follows. Make it clear you're not the fucking one. You know, it's like you're not going to sit there and be abused. If you're going to use Twitter on a regular basis and maintain it as an environment you can bear, every once in a while you're going to have to fucking draw a line.
You know what my favorite thing on Twitter is?
What?
Is hide notifications from people who don't follow you.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah, that's
There
generally
are a
my
lot of
tactic
people.
is just ignore and don't engage, and usually those people go away.
Yeah, that's the one I employ most often. It's like, okay, I have to go away now.
Yeah.
Away from this.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the personality for that, but
In
at the
fact,
same time,
sometimes I will post old art that I know will get lots of clicks because, oh, look at all these notifications bumping down the other notifications I don't want to see.
yeah.
I have
That's a
weaponized
solid
my
plan.
art.
Mhm. Yeah, and for the record, Untitled Project says I block anyone who looks at me wrong. I 10,000% support that approach.
Yeah.
I 10,000 block people because you don't like their fucking haircut. Block people because they made a pun you don't like in their bio.
Oh,
You know,
the
block
people
people
who
for
would be-
any fucking reason. You
Yeah,
don't
I
let
immediately-
people
Curate your
walk
own
into your
experience.
house. Yeah, curate your fucking experience. Like, you don't let people walk into your house, sit on your couch, and start talking shit at you. And then when you go, get the fuck out of my house. Oh, so you just want to live in a bubble. Like, no.
Yes,
no,
I do want to
fucking-
live in a bubble.
I
do,
Kiss my
yes,
ass and get out of
cool.
my fucking house.
Like,
Kiss
you
my
say
ass
that
and get
like
out
it's
of
a
my fucking
bad
house.
thing. Go away.
Mm.
I do want to live in
Yeah.
a bubble. Bam.
I'll not just block you, I'll block everyone following you, and I will literally never think about you again. It's
Like, I know that like the idea
it's
of
a
wanting to live
win-win.
in a bubble is like, considered like a bad thing, but sometimes you need a bubble.
Yeah.
You need a bubble.
Yeah, and the entitlement to your attention is probably the most offensive thing about that whole approach to me. The idea that you have to listen to them because they want to talk to you. In no other fucking forum on earth outside a court of law is that a requirement, my dude. The problem is they don't like the idea that boundaries exist. That's the long and short of it.
Yes, but that's always been the case.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, 100%. So anyway, block everyone. Block fucking everyone.
Yes.
But yeah, not to bring it back around to Twitter too much, but
Too late. You've done it.
I know I've done it. Oh no. But yeah,
What'd you
I
do?
really cannot stress people enough that I think people talking about, oh, it's dying, like, I think that's hyperbolic. I think that's a little
Yeah.
dramatique even with the TIQUE, dramatique. But at the same time, I think now is if you haven't already begun cultivating options,
I wouldn't
it's
say
never
it's
too late.
dying. I think it's become destabilized, and that's made its future uncertain.
That's a great way to put it. I just think now is definitely the time to sort of investigate other options. Don't wait until, the Titanic has split in half to start looking for the lifeboat.
Yeah.
I'm trying my darndest right now to migrate as much as my followership to other platforms
Well,
as
that's the other
possible.
thing. I think people are in a panic, but like none of this has to happen tomorrow. Like you do not have to
No.
get all your ducks in
Like
a row tomorrow.
the tech folks like talking about Twitter being destabilized. It's not destabilized in a way that's make it gonna go down tomorrow or really
Yeah.
anytime soon. What it is so in every tech company, no matter how big, there is maybe only one or two people that knows, like, all tech things are held together by gum and duct tape to fix like whatever coding leaks there are. And
Mhm.
there's only really one or two people who knows all the places where the duct tape is and where the extra duct tape is. And basically Elon has fired those people. So it's not so much the day-to-day is going to break down anytime soon, but it's the next time there's like a big problem, they won't be able to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's more what's going on rather than it's gonna all break down tomorrow.
Yeah. It's worth noting he has fired a lot of those people who just have, I believe the terminology is institutional knowledge, just basically the guy who knows his way around the place.
The guy who knows where the duct tape is.
Yeah. And that guy got fired. And
Yeah.
that is not going to be great. That guy is going to take with him kind of all the details on, you take the wrench and you hit it right here and then you reboot it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And even worse is the person who might learn all of that.
Well, here's the thing.
Has
It
no
is
incentive to stay.
entirely possible. This is completely within the realm of possibilities that Twitter stabilizes in the next few months, and they get the right people back in. They fix things, and it just goes back to normal. That is completely within the realm of possibilities. But what I think this is a very needed wake up call that like relying on Twitter is maybe something people shouldn't have done. I mean, again, it was completely reasonable relying on it. It is like, the town square.
Yeah, sure.
But
absolutely.
it's never
this
been.
is definitely.
You go.
Oh, it's definitely been a year of like reckoning with the instability of digital only media or
for sure.
the impermanence.
And a thing that this is a tweet I saw today that was very funny is someone's like, hey, so if you're wondering why all of Netflix's business decisions don't really make sense, I'd like to just highlight this tweet by the current head of Netflix. And the current head of Netflix is going, Elon's a visionary and he's making the world a better place.
Oh,
And it's like, so that's
sake.
why Netflix is making a bunch of bad decisions, is because that's who's in charge.
Jesus, I did not know about that. But yeah, not to like sit here and pretend I know shit I don't know, but this also kind of makes me, I have had a theory for a while, and I think it's generally supported by folks. I could be wrong, but I've had a theory for a while. My theory basically goes, there is a period in a company's history where it's being run by the people who found it.
Mhm.
And then there's a period in a company's history where it is no longer being run by the people who found it. And however they started out and however they wind up, there will be a hard, tangible, unfixable change in their approach to existing. And it's kind of when the company loses its direction slash spark slash inspiration, and it just becomes what we think of when we say the word corporate. And I watched it happen at Kickstarter, and I'm watching it happen along with the rest of you at Netflix. And it's just a thing that's going to happen to large successful companies, particularly large successful companies that are publicly owned, because that is, again, a Rubicon once
Mhm.
can never be, well, I suppose it can be
You know
back
what my
over.
favorite thing
But
is?
what?
How nobody liked Twitter even when we all joined it. Y'all
Yeah.
remember that? How everyone
It's
signed
useful.
up.
And now
I
we're
know.
grieving it.
Well,
I
that's what.
wouldn't say grieving,
But no, I
but
think
yeah.
it's funny. Like I remember when people's like first tweet anniversaries started to roll out. I remember when my first tweet anniversary came around, and it was like, "I joined this stupid site. Are you happy?" It was something like that. And a bunch of my friends had the same experience of, "What was your first tweet?" It was like, "Okay, I'm here. Now what?" Just
Yeah.
nobody wanted to join Twitter. Everyone did it grudgingly, and I think that's why it's interesting. Like that's why I'm less upset because again, like I said, I've seen so many social media sites and blogging platforms just go that I'm like, yeah, what's gonna happen to Twitter someday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it's funny that like this is who's in charge of Netflix, someone who thinks just Elon's making all the right calls. And
Yeah. Fucking gross.
R.I.P. Live Journal.
also what's funny is Jack Dorsey is starting his new thing. And you can like sign up to be notified when his new thing starts. And it's basically just
Twitter again.
Yeah. Like
Yeah. Like we
I'm
should
gonna rebuild Twitter and do it right this time.
who in the world's gonna fucking trust that doofus again?
That he could have rode into the sunset.
Yeah.
Matt says he misses
I
Google
mean-
Plus, but Google Plus confused the shit out of me.
Oh, I loved Google Plus.
I was very
loved
confused.
it. Oh, it was wonderful, and my life changed literally forever after Google Plus went down. I was so sad.
But yeah, I mean, technically, all of us that use Square are putting our trust in him because he still owns Square. Jack Dorsey, that is.
Yeah.
I miss LiveJournal
But-
mostly because when there was drama, you wouldn't know about it unless you had like a spy in there. Like there were all these closed communities, and like if you wanted to be filled in on whatever community drama was happening, you had to have a man on the inside.
That's why I love all these YouTubers that are like, here's like ancient LiveJournal drama
See-
for us to peruse.
Shit like that is exactly, this sounds bizarre, but it's why I'm not a huge fan of the locked Twitter account, because when I see the locked Twitter account, here's my opinion. If you have a locked Twitter account, this is not a judgment on you. This is simply an
Better not
observation
be.
and a justification. This is an observation and a justification why I personally don't ever foresee myself having one. A lot of it is, I think if you have a locked Twitter account and you get comfortable with the idea that the only people seeing your tweets on that account are like 5 people you consider your besties ever, you're going to speak more freely. Like that's simply that is the reason those accounts exist. So you can speak freely, so you can dunk on people, so you can speak your mind, shit
No,
like that.
it's because I can't cry about things I can. Let me cry on my
I want to
private
cry in
Twitter.
private. Yeah,
Wow,
I
I'm
want to
being
cry in
dragged
private.
right now. I'm
cool.
removing you from my private Twitter. How dare you?
But the thing is, as time goes by and as things build up and things change, relationships change. I literally just got done talking about their people I thought were my friends, and oh, guess not. And that's sort of a normal part of being a human being, that experience. And whenever I see a locked Twitter and the locked Twitter says something sassy, part of me goes, I wonder who screenshotted that.
Yeah.
And that's all I can think of when I think of locked Twitters. I will
We're getting
sass.
so good at keeping receipts these days too.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like I feel I'll talk a mile of shit, but I pretty much exclusively keep it to like live chats with friends. And
Yeah.
No, you don't. I can't get a
No.
hold of you. I kick your
Well,
ass.
I'm talking about like Discord and shit.
Gonna kick
But
yeah, Discord. I'm gonna
and
kick
You
your
haven't
ass.
been in Discord in forever.
I'm in Discord right now.
This doesn't count.
Oh god. This man. But anyway, what I'm saying is it feels like a security breach waiting to happen. And one day it happens and I'm just picturing going, it's interesting you thought that would never happen because it feels like
Who are you
an
following? Because
inevitability
everyone
to
I
me.
follow, none of them tweet drama. It's literally just, I'm crying
I'm
today.
not going to tell you.
I'm not. No, that was rhetorical. That was
Oh, okay.
rhetorical because it's like everyone I follow. No one like, very few people tweet like private tweet drama. It's usually just my coworker was mean to me and I need a place to cry about it.
Oh,
That's what I
no.
mostly.
That or like, hey buds, I just got contacted by this person for a job. What are the vibes on them?
Yeah,
Like
that works too.
Again, I think this is also a matter of like, I've said this before about Tumblr following too. It's also about cultivating your garden. And like for me,
for sure.
for who I follow and who follows me, I've even told people if you are following me on private Twitter to catch up on juicy goss, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I mostly just cry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Did you think I was gonna post secret porn? No, a family member made me real sad today. That's all you're getting, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people I follow tweet too.
Oh. Yeah, I follow a lot of private accounts and sometimes they say something and straight up I'm just like,
in fact,
not how I would have done that.
I usually unfollow people if there is like internal drama. It's like, I don't want to know this. Sometimes there's drama happening between two people in comics and I quietly go, I can play stupid if like I don't read this. So bye.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good approach. Just, I do not see it is a very good approach.
I don't see it. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
And then
like I said, I just wait till Emerald and then everybody fills me in.
Yeah.
Then the other thing that I see a lot on the secret Twitters, or at least so the people like, I don't follow anyone who does a lot of that type of drama stuff. It's more like, I know of course that some people's secret Twitters do act that way. And so I am aware of some people's secret Twitter name that I do not follow. And I saw like the way they describe themselves, and it's like, this is asking to get leaked, and like,
yeah. And I'm not trying to make people paranoid, and I don't think it's a concern if it's like you and 3 people you've known since grade school. I'm not saying that. It's just, I'm paranoid.
That's why you shouldn't have a private Twitter.
Yeah, I do not have a Twitter for that explicit reason. All my shit talk will be done live.
I would love to see the person who like breaks into mine going, oh yeah, time to get deep. And it's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
I just tweet that stuff in general, and I'm always like, hashtag, please, this is not a cry for help. I just need to put these words out.
See, that's why I like having my private Twitter, because like almost everyone following knows that, okay, this is gonna sound dire, but I'm actually fine. You have all done the secret handshake and made the agreement that it doesn't matter how awful this sounds, I'm actually fine. If I do not spill, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a panic attack in the street.
You're not asking us to fix it. You're just hoping someone is there to listen.
Yeah. Knowing full well that once I barf it up, I'm actually fine, and I will walk away and just go, Goodbye. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
And
barfed
that's
in the
healthy.
bucket, and you were privy to the
Ew.
bucket.
Okay, maybe that's not quite so healthy.
Hey, only for the
Yeah,
person who partakes of the bucket.
Yeah, Alexa McDonald says, I follow private accounts that are mostly, here are triggering thoughts I have, and this is the best way to vent this without randos chatting me. Yeah.
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 I mean, as a person who does not have a private account, there are definitely tweets I've had that I thought were really innocuous and I regretted, not because they like started drama or anything, but because people who meant well, and I will never hold anything they did against them, kind of tried to help in a profoundly unasked for and unhelpful way. Which is why one of the things I talk about before the Geek Show was my dog is not feeling well. And she has been not feeling well for some time. And I am not going to tweet about it because I don't want to hear what anyone has to say about my dog not feeling well, including, hey, have you tried? Because it's like, for starters, I guess I'm kind of touchy about that kind of thing because it's like, thank you for assuming my incompetence. Yes, I have tried the basic thing. And I don't want to snap at anyone. But also, it's like, I'm a huge fan of some shit not being everyone's business. I'm a huge fan of that, which is why, like, when you look at my bio on certain sites, it is my opinion that the bios of certain sites, I sit there and I go, you are definitely 17 when I see certain bios because they are massively oversharing.
Yeah.
And my bios say things like, here's my comic. This is where I put my art. Here is who I am as a person. And that's really all you need to know to decide whether you're going to follow this account or not. You don't need to know my every single detail. You don't need to know my personality type. You don't need to know my zodiac. You don't need to know any of that
I
shit.
do, Spike.
Shut up, Amanda. Yeah, Kristen, like those card things. Exactly. Kristen Cheney says, like those card things. Yeah, okay. Can we fucking talk about that? That is, yes, deranged. It's fucking deranged.
Card things?
Okay, here's the thing. Cards are also used as business cards, so when you say card things, you need to be specific. They are not all used in the way Spike is describing.
Or Kristen is describing. But card, everyone, for people who are listening and can't see the chat, spelled CARRD. Card is this thing. It's like a mini website that's really just a collection of links to your various spots online. So if you are on Twitter, DeviantArt, Hentai Foundry, Facebook, and Instagram, you can have just a card that lists all those sites that you're on. Now,
Yeah, it's meant to be a digital business card.
Yeah, the internet is full of people who kind of wish they had more to say about themselves than they really do. And a certain subset of those people, they want a card because everyone has a card, so they want to play too.
Yeah,
and
like
they have a
Linktree.
card. Yeah, and they have a card, and for reasons unfathomable, included on their card are things like, here are all my triggers, don't use them, please. And it's like, I don't know why you're distributing that information. I don't get it. Like, if these are genuine and legitimate triggers and not an attempt to engineer control over other people, you can just go into whatever social media you utilize and tell it, don't show me anything with these words.
I mean, that's not true everywhere.
That's not true everywhere, but I'm saying it's possible in multiple places. And
again, yeah, okay, keep talking.
I just think it's incredibly bizarre that ostensibly the first time you're meeting someone, you're walking up, shaking their hand and going, hi, my name is Bill. I'm super duper triggered by raccoons and herbal tea. Please never ever mention those in my presence.
I disagree. I don't think that's a fair comparison because, again,
that's what a card is.
No, because it's a directory of different ways to interact with you, and it's kind of saying you are opting in. I still don't think it's a great idea for my own reasons, but I don't think it's the equivalent of walking up to someone and saying things. This is basically a portal to my social medias, and this is kind of what I think is important if you're going to engage with me on these platforms. What I think is the problem is you're kind of, if those are genuine problems, you are arming like trolls with how to get to you.
Exactly, which is a bizarre thing to do.
And it seems bizarre, but like, again, not when you're young and nothing bad's happened to you.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, and you
I
only
mean,
have
that's
like
the
20 followers.
yeah, that's like the unspoken thing, I think, that a lot of this is people who just are desperate for something to say.
I disagree
Uh,
with that. Again, I think it's some people who think they are just doing what is good and smart. Someone probably told them this is very wise and way to curate your online experience, and they believe it. That's all. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
which is bizarre.
Again, it makes complete. I don't think it's a good idea, but it makes complete sense to me.
I mean, I suppose it has never once made like, the first time I saw it, I was just like, is this real? Are you fucking with me? You can't really be no." But no, it was real, and from the moment go, maybe it's exactly like you said, maybe it's someone who's all like, "Oh, well, this is the right way to go about things," but it smacks of naivete and
Oh, for
youth
sure.
and just really, really poor judgment.
Again, there's some people who, again, don't have a lot of followers, and they may have only had nice followers, and that they really did read that. Goes, oh, that's good. I know not to do those things, and they have just had those experiences. So I think it's a little unfair. You know, they just haven't had the sharp slap in the face yet of, oh, this was a bad idea.
It's
Like
wild
some
how
people,
anyone
especially people who don't have big followings, and it really is just them and their little friend group. They never will have that slap in the face because there is no real consequence to posting that. So like, who cares? See, that it's way more basic than I think it's being described.
I'm not sitting here like, "I care, oh my gosh, you shouldn't do that." Like,
Yeah,
if
I
you
know.
want to literally walk up and rip your shirt open and draw a target over your heart, that is your own fucking business.
Right. I'm just saying the way the people were presented in their motivations were not
Well, the thing
fair,
is,
I don't
neither of
think.
us know their motivations
I
at the end
know.
of it, and I think there is no single motivation
I
for
know
doing
that.
that. But at the same
I was just
time,
presenting other side of it.
yeah, and I can believe that that definitely is extant out there in the internet ecosystem.
And I
The same way
totally
I
believe
think
that
that
there's some people who are just trying to control people.
oh, for sure, for sure. That's what being a teenager is about.
I mean,
One of the things that I think about is, there was this thing that was on Reddit 1,000 years ago, I cannot link it, do not ask, which is a person who was discussing their teenage child, not like advanced teenage, like 14, 15, and kind of with amusement chronicling this kid kind of testing the boundaries. And it started off with, "Mom, Dad, I am now vegetarian. Please do not cook meat for me when you make dinner." And mom and dad go, "Okay." And a week goes by and the kid goes, "Mom, Dad, I am now vegan. So vegetarian options are no longer okay. So I'm not going to eat eggs and I'm not going to drink milk or eat cheese. So please don't include that in any meal you prepare for me." And mom and dad go, "Okay." And another week goes by. And the kid is clearly feeling themselves, for lack of a better term, and they walk into the kitchen and they say what prompted the person to post, which is, "Mom, Dad, you are now vegan too. I will no longer allow animal products in this house. I find it morally reprehensible. Please take note of that the next time you do the grocery shopping and join me in throwing away what is currently here." And that feels like the most teenager thing on the face of the earth to me.
How did that go down, by the way? How did
Uh, yeah, the parents kind of just looked at the kid and looked at each other and went, "No, do what you want with your own body, but I'm having chicken."
I mean, that is kind of the point of teenagerhood. It's like they reach a point
Yeah,
where they are testing their boundaries.
for sure. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of the story. And I
Uh,
think that people who have cards are attempting that, not every time, but certainly numerous times.
Meredith, I have a question. How tall are you?
5'5".
Okay, I want you to
Wah!
know that everyone on this call right now is minor coded because we are shorter than
Oh my
5'7".
fucking god, what is this? Do I even want to know? What are you
Oh,
fucking doing, Cal?
It's just
What
a
is
thing
this,
that's
Cal?
it's just a thing that's going around, and it's not even new. A new person says this every month, and it makes the rounds.
Oh my
That's why everyone on
fucking
Twitter is asking what their height is.
Oh my,
No, it is someone who said that like
oh.
it's a post that someone screenshotted that's going around, and is someone being like, any character that is under 5'7" is minor coded, and it's problematic to ship them with anyone. Like,
What kind of insanity is that?
I don't know. I'm always sort of tickled when these things come around.
Again.
Look how delighted Kel is.
Again, this is like a thing that someone says once a month and then it makes the round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is so fucking stupid.
Yep.
I just needed to bring it up because it's literally everyone on this call.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
the thing is, one of the things that's so wild about shit like that is that like it smacks of like total romantic and sexual inexperience, yet you're sitting there trying to tell other people how they feel about things. It's fucking wild shit like, and like that's not even like the minor coded thing. That's a new one on me. That's a new one on me.
Oh,
The one I'm most familiar with is power dynamics are inherently pedophilic. That one's my favorite.
I
boy.
just need to
Yeah.
share that one because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. It is. It's
Anyway.
like profoundly insane. But
Like
yeah,
I was looking, I have my iPad open while I look up reference photos while drawing, because my computer doesn't like to stream, draw, and have Chrome open at the same time. But because of that, I was looking at Twitter and saw that going around, and I was like, when Spike is done talking about this kid that wants his parents to be vegan, I was like, I need to share this.
yeah, and I appreciate that. It's always so fucking off the fucking wall. Just when you think, you think you've heard the craziest shit.
The one that got me recently was, I guess, they don't like the word death anymore, so it has to be unalive.
Oh, that's actually
that
the
isn't really a pure teen thing. That is like YouTube and Twitch, and like they'll demonetize your video if you say it. So
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think TikTok too. So that's why people got in the habit of saying
What's
it.
really interesting on TikTok is they'll if they caption their TikToks, they'll say the word death, but they'll type in the caption unalive, because apparently the captions is what get I guess analyzed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's also on YouTube. I have, the only reason I know this, by the way, is I watch a lot of creators who have to worry about this sort of thing. Is supposedly YouTube scans the first 5 minutes of your content for problematic topics and problematic words. And
Yeah,
so
I think you can't cuss in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, you there are certain words you can't say in the first 5 or 10 minutes. There are certain topics you can't say you're going to cover in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And because of that, people will say things like, so and so unalived themselves after years of bullying. And it's strictly, how do I not have all my money taken away? But the scariest part about that kind of shit too is like they will clearly enact the same kind of demonetization on videos that are not exploitive and not salacious, that just cover topics that I strongly feel they decided do not fit the YouTube brand. And a great example of that is one of my favorite YouTubers on earth is Ask a Mortician, Caitlin Dowdy. And she did a really, really good video on the sinking of, I believe the ship is called the East Lake, which is a Chicago disaster where a riverboat just went over on its side and it drowned a whole lot of people. And it's kind of one of these forgotten disasters for multiple reasons. And it was really good. And, I have lived in Chicago for over 20 years, and this is literally the first time I'm hearing of the East Lake. And this city fucking loves to roll around in its disasters and tragedies like a pig in shit. And this is the first time I'm hearing of it. So I really liked that video. And maybe a week and a half later, she uploaded a video talking about how YouTube has basically buried the video because it doesn't want people seeing it. And it just
Jesse Gender recently had a very long video that was a rebuttal to Matt Walsh's What is a Woman documentary, and it kept getting like not just demonetized
Flagged as adult
and
content.
not even that, like she got hit with a community violation, which is way more even serious, like because if you get 3 of those you can never have like be on YouTube again. And so so she made a video about the whole process of dealing with YouTube and trying to get them to repeal that. And like the thing is they wouldn't even tell her what was
wrong,
causing like, so like eventually she found out that like because she made a like sort of a hubbub on Twitter and had a big following, YouTube was forced to actually tell her what was wrong. And it was like one joke about having sex with a mannequin that had Matt Walsh's face like glued on it. And not even that. So that was what was quote unquote sexual content. But yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, so obviously YouTube has its biases / problems.
Oh, for
and
sure.
bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. YouTube has, and it's like, you know, if you've been around long enough, you've seen them kind of just evolve in what they've decided they want on the platform, and it's gotten shittier. It's gotten shittier over time.
And that's why I really like
in some
Nebula.
ways, but in other ways, like,
yeah,
I think they've definitely had much shittier phases.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the
yeah,
current state of YouTube is shitty, but they've absolutely had shittier phases. That I'm kind of glad
it's
they
stuff like
self-corrected from.
a lot of the YouTube channels that both H Bomber Guy and Dan Olson covered in their Flat Earth videos, like stopped getting traffic when YouTube realized they were accidentally funneling people into more and more extremes. Once they like changed their algorithm to stop doing that, like these really fringe Flat Earth videos stopped getting a whole bunch of traffic.
Yeah.
So they are like improving some things, but they're obviously getting worse at others.
Well, I think also the Flat Earth community kind of died. They've kind of moved.
Well, the Flat Earth community has been absorbed by Q. Q has been an octopus absorbing a lot of fringe stuff.
Yeah, I was trying not to get specific.
Yeah, this actually includes, because sorry, I'm fucking fascinated.
I knew it. That's why I was trying to be vague. Here we go.
This includes really, really radical churches, really extremist churches. They are actually losing membership to Q because there's something just more dynamic and fascinating to them about Q than what they can go into the church on Sunday and hear. Like it makes them, it's got an edge. And it's hard to quantify what that edge is. But that's why there's not as much action in Flat Earth and Christo-fascism and all kinds of other things.
I think it's one because a lot of things that those specific churches preach, you know, about, you know, the rapture and like things that are going to happen. They're going to happen. They've been saying them for a long time. The mark of the beast, all that shit. They've been saying these things for a long time, and none of these things have happened yet. And here's a new thing full of things that definitely are happening already. That scratch the exact same itch.
And also Q is kind of, I forget the exact terminology, but it's something like it's a trash can cult, which means literally any pre-existing craziness you've already bought into, Q is welcoming to, even if it's conflicting with the guy next to you specific brand of craziness, which is why Q kind of contains the masses. It contains the flat earthers. It contains the Christian fascists. It contains the numerologists who think they can predict the apocalypse. It contains all kinds of people who are actually quite opposed to one another at the heart of it with their ideologies, but there's enough room for everyone in Q. And the problem with it, unlike a lot of, like, you go to church and the guy at the pew, around the guy at the pulpit sits there and he talks to you about a guy you've never met. But Q is real. Q is a person. Q is out there making Q drops, you know? So that's exciting. That's tangible. That's one up on Jesus.
Jesus is old and stale.
Old and stinky.
But anyway, as YouTube changes, I really like Nebula a lot. I have a Nebula subscription.
Drop your code.
Yeah.
Drop your promo code.
Yeah, I've been
I don't
thinking.
have one.
I'm joking.
problem
It's a joke.
the
The
problem
joke
with all
is this
these-
is an ad.
Yeah, the issue with
Yeah.
all these science streams is like there's so many science channels now. I don't know which one I'd want.
I don't know anything about Nebula.
Well,
Yeah.
so Nebula is a lot of the video essayists that I like. They just put their video up early on Nebula, and they don't have to recut it for YouTube for whatever content
Well, there's
violations
also
happen.
exclusive stuff on Nebula that probably wouldn't do well on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Jessie Gender's video that got her a YouTube community violation is on Nebula with the dumb joke about fucking a mannequin intact. So it's mostly just YouTubers are reposting their stuff. And then they don't have to edit it for the most part.
That's cool.
So like H-Bomb's on there, Lindsay Ellis's videos are on there, Dan Olson's on there, Skip Intro, who's a favorite of mine, is on there. And yeah, there's just a bunch of YouTubers on there. And it's pretty cheap. So
In the Discord, please look at the hand drawing reference I just dropped. It's so sexy.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing this making the rounds.
I
It's for folks. You should post it so folks can see it.
Want it.
Yeah, for folks who are wondering, it is a mannequin that is explicitly of a human hand, and all the fingers are jointed.
It's completely
the palm
articulated.
is jointed. Yeah, and it's great if you want to do a complicated pose for a hand in something you're trying to render.
Wow.
And you find, for example, CSP's models lacking.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like physical, real world stuff more just because you can actually pick it up and turn it around more easily. I always feel like I'm fighting the three to some extent.
Yeah, I very frequently accidentally zoom in when I meant to turn it.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the models, but not super satisfied, as I have mentioned on Twitter just today. I was like, the time has come where I plan on having a couple weeks off, just simply due to the December holidays. And I usually, what I was thinking of doing, Amanda, was teaching myself enough Blender to make a model for Satyr, and then importing that into Clip Studio Paint. Because while I can draw him just fine, both with and without models, it'd be pretty cool if I got a very complicated model for him so I could do complicated angles. Worm's eye view, bird's eye view, extreme perspective, that kind of thing. That would be cool.
Or you could be like me and just keep a made-to-move Barbie on your desk.
Made-to-move Barbie does not have goat legs.
Yeah, if you imagine.
But that's the problem. See, it's easier to have a model than to imagine. So that's kind of where that's coming from, like why I might try and do that.
I think it's easier to have a Barbie that's...
Yeah. Well, you love Barbie.
That's not why her hair's been chopped off, because it got in the way of her joints. It's a made-to-move Barbie. It's got like so many points of articulation.
With no goat legs,
how many joints it had.
Yeah,
oh yes, it has many joints. It's also the slightly chunky one.
Oh.
Here, I will link you. I will put it in the
yeah.
Wait.
I haven't taken photo reference in a while. I realize I should take more.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I've been really, really happy with kind of figuring out CSP, figuring out all the different... I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty great. And it makes me braver, and I really appreciate it. Which is why it's heartbreaking to see the fucking people who make Clip Studio Paint kind of losing their minds slowly over the course of the last few weeks.
Have they redirected course yet?
Yeah, I just
Don't know.
Well,
I
so
wish-
the thing is it's like a weird half measure. They're like, well, we're gonna put it in, and then we're gonna have a survey to see if we keep it. And it's like people are already mad at you. You should probably just take it out. Like,
yeah, 2021 and 2022 have been the years of being deeply disappointed by large organizations we thought had our backs.
I never trust a large organization.
Yeah, I made a terrible mistake when I trusted one.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. There have been way smarter people than me who have said this already, but Clip Studio like missed out on an opportunity. Like there are artists who would love AI tools. It's just they like some that are not trained on stolen shit. Like if you could just train it on your own stuff or your own sources or your own photos you took in real life, it would be so nice to like. I think Kelly Turnbull was talking about like especially like in animation or comics where you have a background that you only need once for one panel. Like, oh my god, do I have to dedicate my life to this one background? Like, how nice would it be to like plug your art in, plug in some photos you took from your life, and then bam.
Yeah.
But it would be drawing from original and not stolen work. That would be so nice if you could train it yourself. But no, they're using something that's full of stolen shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wee.
And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. For folks who are not immersed in comics Twitter, Clip Studio Paint has had quite the 1-2 punch lately of fucking weirdness, unsolicited weirdness. And the latest one was they're including AI art generators in their next update, which nobody asked for, I'm 90% sure, but they can't be talked out of it. And it's just kind of heartbreaking because they are hands down, not even a contest, the best comics creation software currently going.
That's why pirating is always okay.
Yeah, it is always morally correct, as the kids are wont to say.
As the meme, the man in the meme says.
Yes, it's just fucking heartbreaking to see. Like, I know it's like there are no good companies. This is how you learn. But it's heartbreaking seeing what you thought was a good company just completely spin out.
It's not heartbreaking to me because I'm always on like the walking that fine line between buying and pirating, and I'll buy it, but the moment you start fucking up, now I'm a pirate. Arr.
Yeah. It just kind of sucks.
One day I'll get around to testing Clip Studio, though.
It's real nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
That's what I'm drawing in right now.
I'm just so ordinary with my software. I'm like, no, I figured out how to make it work with this one program.
Is it
all I'll
Photoshop?
use forever.
What is
Is it Photoshop?
Yeah.
Oh,
I will
God.
say,
I
if
know.
you don't want to go as far as Clip Studio, or you don't want to give them money in light of their recent goof up, the program I keep in my back pocket for if I have to jump ship was the program I was using prior to Clip Studio Paint, which is Paint Tool Sci. I really like Paint Tool Sci. That's where I was drawing digital comics in before I jumped to Clip Studio.
Okay.
It's got a lot
Yeah, I've
of
heard good things about it.
slightly similar. It's basically like, I think I described Clip Studio as Paint Tool Sci on steroids when I first started using it. It's like, Jesus Christ, it can do mostly the same shit, but like harder, faster, and like in 4K, It's like, holy crap. But like, you don't need all that shit. Like, all that shit, you don't need it. It's very convenient and nice to have, but like, I went my whole life not having all these tools. I can go back.
Yeah. Yeah, although I will say that
I've got a made-to-move Barbie on my desk. I'm fine.
there's a tangible improvement in how long it takes me to do things with Clip Studio Paint. The most important thing I've come to sort of understand about my particular approach to work is that anything that makes me complete the work faster is a plus, because I am just by nature not a very quick artist. So I need to favor anything that's going to increase my rate of output. And Clip Studio Paint has been amazing at that.
It's funny, the things that like I think have made me faster is anything that replicates drawing on paper.
Huh.
Like the closest
Interesting.
you can get me to that with less middlemen in my way, less like, because I can't work on paper anymore because before I moved up here, I went through all of my art and I threw a lot of it away because like this is too much shit to carry with me for the rest of my life. So
Uh-huh.
I got rid of % of my.
Wow.
It was just too much. They're all on Bristol boards, Spike. They
Yeah.
weigh
Yeah, I
more
get
than
you.
I do. So
Yeah.
I pared them all down, and I miss drawing on paper, but I just can't keep up with it. So anything that keeps me as close to that experience as I can, and Clip Studio has kind of gotten me the closest with the rulers and with my graphics tablet. Like I've been able to get to a point where it feels like I am drawing the way I used to.
Hmm. That's cool.
Mhm.
I don't think I could it's like I can draw on paper. Obviously, I can draw on paper. It's a skill
I've seen
set,
those
not a
stacks.
but at the same time, it's it's just kind of inarguably better for me just doing it digitally. It's it makes it so that it feels less precious, which has been a perennial issue of mine. Like the idea that, oh, well, this has to count because it's in the nice sketchbook or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Paul G
And
says,
but it,
"Aw, no Amanda art auction." The thing is, the stuff I threw away is the stuff that I'm like, basically when I was going through, I was like, would anyone want this page on their wall? And if it was a no, it got tossed. So I kept the things people probably would actually want to buy. The stuff that I was like, those are the things that got tossed.
oh,
Um, I always go with whatever is faster, and for me that is penciling digitally but inking traditionally, because if I try to ink digitally, I get stuck in well, I could probably draw this line better. So I'll undo it and then redo it,
yeah.
and then I'll undo it and then I'll redo it. So
See that
I've
I
definitely
like
been
that
caught in
because
those
that's.
loops.
Oh, sorry. What did you say, Meredith?
I said I've definitely been caught on those loops. It's like the curve is just a little off.
See,
Yeah.
yeah, so if I am working traditionally, it's like, well, it's on the page now and I have to move on.
see,
Um,
that didn't stop me, Kel. That's actually the reason I ended up with so much waste was if I made a mistake on the traditional paper, I had a light box. I would start over. And I would do it
Ooh.
again and again and again. So, being able to undo has actually saved me time and supplies because I can undo. I can't tell you how many Love Me Nice pages are actually composites of like, there's one particular page that is a composite of 4 different sheets of Bristol where I didn't like how I drew something, so I light boxed it to make it better. Then the next panel I also didn't like, so I light boxed that to make it better. It was a never ending cycle.
See,
Oh,
I kind of I fucking love digital. It has made a world of difference for me.
Oh no,
I was
I love
very
digital. I just I wish traditional didn't result in stacks of paper that weigh as much as I do.
yeah, that is also a major plus for digital.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to for me. Is like I organization. If I see too
It's
many.
just easier, yeah. Exactly, and especially it's like and oh god, I'm about to fucking go off. Does anyone remember in
No,
the before time, in the long, long ago,
no, I'm a baby.
when there was specifically a Mexican comic book artist who went full on fuddy-duddy about digital art to the point where he would make comics about how terrible digital art was because in the future, museums wouldn't have anything to hang on walls? And he felt like super boomery because he would draw these pictures of these artists who drew
I
digitally.
think that guy's dead now.
Oh, is he?
I think he is.
Yeah, I just remember being
Because Eisner's does that like in memoriam thing
oh,
before in the middle of the awards.
uh-huh.
And I'm like 90% certain that guy was on there. Like the
Wow.
art looked a lot like his, and it was a Mexican artist. So, like,
Yeah.
if it's not him, it is someone who looked a shit ton like had a very similar style to him.
Yeah, it was his doppelganger, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a very sort of traditional old school style too. So, I mean, yeah, it could have easily been him. I don't know. I didn't see that,
Kristen
but
says comic school.
yes, fuck, holy shit, you remember, Kristen? Yes,
and he had won an Eisner.
Yeah, he is an Eisner winner. Yeah. But he was just straight fuddy-duddy about that shit. He was just very digital artist crap, and anyone who likes it is crap. Like, he wasn't even ambiguous about it.
That reminds me of, it's not often I go, wow, I wasted my money. Back when, like, oh my gosh, I forget the people. There was a webcomic podcast with the three people.
Scott Kurtz, Chris Straub, Dave Kellett, and Brad Geiger.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know what's coming.
Do you?
I know what's coming. But go on.
So I decided one of them had like a webcomics like forum, a paid forum you could sign up for. Okay, so you have heard this one before. Okay.
Oh, please keep telling it though.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
Okay, so it was basically this moment of, oh, I regret this and I'm canceling and I'm never coming back. So I joined up because, like, I want to know. I'm trying to get my webcomic off the ground. I want to know what professionals are talking about. And again, this story is not against the guys who founded the site. It was more about the people who were using it. And one of the hottest conversations going on at the time was a thread someone started about how, like, I hate how smartphones are taking over because the iconography of a smartphone is impossible to draw distinctly. It's a character who's just holding a little black box. How am I supposed to caricature that? And everyone in the thread's like, I know, oh my god, this is like the death of cartooning. What are we gonna do? And I'm just like, all right, I'm canceling and I'm never coming back.
Yeah, this is like a real conversation people are actually having.
People were genuinely upset and concerned about how are we supposed to draw phones and have people understand people are having phone conversations in our strip comics if the phones are shaped like little black squares. And I was just like, never mind, I don't need this. There's nothing going on here that I need. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I remember, for folks who don't recall or weren't there for it, quite frankly, because it was a long time ago, there was a pay to join forum on webcomics.com, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just one of those, you know how YouTubers sell, like, oh, you want to be a YouTube superstar? Subscribe to my YouTube school for the secrets of YouTube superstardom. And that's what that was.
Okay, here's the thing. Webcomics and a forum. As someone who subscribed, I disagree because it did genuinely have resources.
Oh,
I just didn't.
Yeah,
they had resources. Like, they had videos,
like the articles. Yeah, the articles were like just tutorials. That
I was just more talking about like what the concerns of the people who were there were not sharing the same concerns I had. It was more of a, this ain't my vibe, I have to go. It's nothing against the site itself. It was full of resources, but like, I was like, oh, I can't. If this is the concern, because it's like, I'm not a strip artist. I don't need art to be instant. I don't need art that's like, here is a very simplified, recognizable character. I need to communicate as quickly and efficiently as I can, everything going on in this, so I can pop off a joke. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is really important to certain types of strips. So it was more of my revelation of, oh, I can't spend money on this. I have to go. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
That's cool.
Oh, no problem.
So yeah, again, nothing against the site itself, but more just against, it was like the sensibilities of the people around me was like,
oh, everything against the site itself to me. Everything.
Oh, that's fine, but that's like that's you saying that, not me.
Yeah, that is me. I absolutely acknowledge it. That is absolutely my individual opinion. That is not at all in confluence with yours, congruence, whatever. But
as long as that's ow.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I've been tearing up a piece of zip tie this entire time, and it finally bit me.
Good job, Amanda.
I told you I get fidgety.
Yeah.
I have a pile of torn up zip tie on my desk, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. But yeah. I have opinions about that site.
I still feel bad about that one person who handed me a business card. I don't remember which convention. I think it was VanCaf. I was on my way to do a panel. I think it was like a slipshine panel. And as I was on my way, this person at this booth says, "Oh, hey, they recognize me. I really want to give you my business card." I'm like, "Oh, cool, thank you." So that was what was in my hand when I went and I sat down to do the panel. And because I get anxious and I fidget, I started tearing it up.
No.
Oh.
And I felt
And they were in the
so
audience watching you.
No, they
and their
were
eyes
not.
filled with
They
tears,
thankfully
and eyes filled with tears.
No, thankfully they were not, because they were handing it to me as I was going in. So they were clearly not. They were at their booth and I was passing by. So they did not have to witness me like destroying this business card because my hands just do
They
what
gave
they're
that
gonna
to
do.
you with their heart full of dreams and hopes.
No, I do
When you
wish I
tore
hadn't
it,
done that, because I was like, I really want to find that person and get a new business
ripped it to
card.
tiny pieces right in front of them, and they doubled back and they went, "Oh, I hope Amanda saw my card," and they just saw you tear it
No.
completely in
I've
half at the show.
destroyed so many flyers and business cards accidentally. If someone ever saw that without context, they probably thought I was a monster. But it's like, no, my hands just do this. If you don't, my hands just do this. If you put something in them and you get my mouth going, whatever is in my hands is destroyed.
Yeah. But everybody, it is now 20 past 10, which means we've been going for like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
And we
Mhm.
didn't
And
let Meredith get a word in edgewise.
And Meredith, we shouted Meredith down the entire time, and she was too polite to stop us for that.
I'm more of a lurker in general, so it's like it's fine.
And Motley here said, was it Kurtz you had an issue with, Spike, or was it a broader issue? It was 99.999% him. He is literally a fucking racist.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, I mean, I've been over this. I'll
Yeah.
fucking stand by it. I have evidence that he's a fucking racist. It's not one of those things where, it's something I have to infer.
This is what I
He is
wanted this show to become.
Yeah, I mean, he literally said I was too black and uneducated to make it in comics. And called me a hobo. There it is.
Freaking.
Literal fact. And Oscar Gonzalez Loyo, Kristen Cheney is saying, Oscar Gonzalez Loyo was that comic artist who hated digital art, and he did die last year. Okay, so confirm.
Okay, so I was correct. Yes, that was him.
I am going to go real quick, and I'm going to Google that. And Kristen was also right when she said the strip was called Webcomic Squared, I believe. Oh, his Instagram is still up, and so he is in the Muppet Wiki. So maybe he did Muppet comics in Mexico, or
I mean,
wow,
he
look
could
at that.
draw. So
Oh, no,
I
yeah, he's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad at all.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he drew some official Muppet comics.
Yeah, for sure.
He was just wrong about digital art.
And he's a Dynasty baby. He is the son of a famous comic book creator himself.
Oh,
Did not know that.
Dynasty baby. Also, looks like, oh wow, he was not as old as all that. Jeepers. Okay. Yeah, he also was animation director of, this is quite the star-studded sort of profile here. He was the animation director for Plaza Sésamo, which is the Latin American production of Sesame Street. Yeah. Fancy.
I mean, like I said, he wasn't a bad artist. He just had dumb opinions about digital art.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think a lot of that is fear. I don't think it's something that the person who even expresses those opinions would sort of characterize as fear if they were asked to. But I saw this enacted before in a very similar way by the newspaper comics crowd. And the sense that I got was I have spent 30 years clawing to the top of this. I am not about to start at the bottom again. And that's what sort of the people who are really rabidly against online comics, that felt like their real motivation behind all their complaints. That they thought it was a step down from what they'd already accomplished. And I think the accessibility and the lowering of the hurdles to finding an audience that webcomics provided probably informed this guy's opinion, Oscar's opinion about them. I really do.
Who told us we needed to wrap up?
Me. Everybody, hi, I'm Spike. thank you so very, very much for tuning in. Meredith, I apologize again, but we're a talkative crowd. If you ever want to come back, we'd be more than happy to have you. We promise to shut the fuck up that time.
No.
Oh, I'm surprised you're willing to have me back.
Oh no, we love you.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
We'll definitely have you back when Blue Moon is closer to being done.
Or you know, whenever you want to come back, it's cool.
Okay.
But hello. You can find me on co-host and pillow fort at Iron Spike, all one word together. Co-host is where I put my weird comic I accidentally started about a monster who is friends with another monster. It's called Ordinary. If you like fantastical slice of life stuff, you can go ahead and check that out. Like I said, it's cohost.org/Iron Spike. Pillow Fort is where I put my long format fantasy sci-fi comic about Bolshevik elves who are also murderers. You can go there via Blikada, BLIKADA.com, Blikada.com, or you can go to just Pillow Fort Iron Spike, all one word. I am also on Hive, just like everybody else. Also Iron Spike on Hive, but I do not use it. It is just me squatting in case it becomes something. My main place for now and for the foreseeable future is Twitter, Iron_Spike, because Iron Spike was taken. That's where you can see me blather and bloviate and occasionally upload borderline porn in an attempt to get you to back my backer kit, woo, which is the second Smut Peddler double header. We've got My Monster Girlfriend, and we've got a reprint of the original Smut Peddler, an enhanced reprint called Smut Peddler X with a cover by Valve concept artist Claire Hummel that you can also get as a poster, woo, signed and unsigned, woo. We just unlocked hardcovers, so if you want a hardcover of Smut Peddler X, you can get that too, woo. And if we get to 250,000, I will draw the gnarliest satyr and Boltungan hard and tough fucking you ever saw, but I won't do it for a dime less. So please spread the word. We only have 6 days left to fund.
Yes, I would like to see the satyr be destroyed. So please make that happen.
You would very much like to be destroyed. Let me do this, everyone.
Help
I'm Kelly
Spike,
McDonald.
help us.
I'm Kel McDonald. I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com. They're about gay werewolves in the future. I also have a comic on my Patreon about 23 kids that get the same prophecy dream telling them they're the chosen one. My Patreon is patreon.com/kelmcdonald. I'm on all the dumb social medias, but really you should go to my website and sign up for my newsletter because that's where I post most of my stuff. And I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/KelMcDonald. I always do a mirror stream during Geekshow, but I also do an art stream Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. So you should pop by there and watch me draw some werewolves.
I'm Amanda Lafrene, AMANDALAFRENAIS.com. The links to most of my stuff, except for my co-host, which is where I'm trying to be active, and that's going to be... Wait, how does it work? Let me go look at... Give me a second. Okay, it's cohost.org/Amanda Laugh, all one word. And that's laugh as in
Laugh
ha-ha.
like haha. Yeah.
Hee ha-ha. I'm going to have more stuff to share coming soon, but not today.
And
Meredith.
I'm Meredith. Yep.
Oh, I was going to say, Meredith, where can people find you?
They can find me at iniquitous fish, which is a word nobody can spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel really proud about that.
A great choice for a social media handle.
Yeah. INIQUIPOUSFISH. That it's the same on Twitter and Instagram, and then I'm Meredith McLaren on Tumblr. And
Follow us as Twitter burns to the ground, everyone,
Yeah.
on our various platforms.
look, it's warm and bright and
Yeah.
Keeps
exciting.
us warm.
It's cold outside. Let them in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so yeah, if you're cold, we're cold. Let us in.
Oh, also, I have a Discord. You have to get the link by asking me directly. I'm going to do a werewolf movie night on December 7th. So if you would like to watch a werewolf movie with me next Wednesday,
Is it a good werewolf movie or a bad werewolf movie?
It's a werewolf movie I haven't seen yet, but I've heard
Oh.
has like a dry sense of humor, so I might like it, but who knows? It might be bad. But
Okay.
if it's bad, I'm watching it with a group of people. So
Makes it better, yeah.
yeah.